third was north of the boat ramp at O'Sullivan's Beach. A man has been reported after his car was found on Glenelg Beach this morning. Police were called to Chapel Drive in the early hours after reports a Hyundai Accent was bogged on the beach. The man allegedly told police his vehicle had been stolen. Following investigations, the 38-year-old has been reported for driving without due care and making a false report. Globally competitive and locally productive. That's how the Premier has described SA when it comes to business. For the second year in a row, the Business Council has found SA is the best place in the country to do business. The Regulation Rumble report ranks states on a series of criteria, including payroll taxes, property charges and red tape. Peter Malinauskas welcomes the result.
To have South Australia recognised as the #1 jurisdiction in the country for the types of conditions that attract new investment, we are absolutely wrapped with.
China has lifted its last remaining import restrictions on Australian products. More from Zach De Silva in Canberra.
China imposed trade restrictions on a number of Australian exports during the pandemic in response to the federal government's call for an inquiry into the origins of COVID-19. But over the last few years, Beijing has been steadily lifting those import bans. In May, sanctions on some beef exporters were removed. Now the federal government has confirmed the final two abattoirs will once again be allowed to send their product to China. Beef was the last Australian export subject to Chinese restrictions, meaning the years-long trade dramas are finally at an end.
Low-income earners are struggling to pay their power bills. The number of people on hardship plans has climbed to 130,000 in a year. Ross Womersley from SACOS says people shouldn't be afraid to reach out if they need help.
All retailers are obliged to give people support when they're in genuine hardship, and so it's really important that people speak to their retailer. Don't feel ashamed about doing that.
The federal government has slammed the Commonwealth Bank's decision to charge some customers to withdraw cash. From January, some account holders will need to pay a $3 fee every time they take cash out at a bank branch, post office or over the phone. The charges will not apply to ATM withdrawals. But Assistant Treasurer Stephen Jones says CommBank should reconsider.
The government won't stand for it. We're working for Australians to ensure they can continue to use cash if they so choose. And if they want to go in and see their bank branch, we think Australians should have access to banking services wherever they live. So we say to Commonwealth Bank, this is the worst Christmas present ever.
Now turning to 5AA's sport.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Another training session for the Aussie cricketers in Adelaide today ahead of the second test against India starting Friday. Well, the Swans have finally reviewed their grand final loss. They've highlighted poor defence and contest work as the main factors which led to their heavy defeat to Brisbane. In the AFLW, Crow Naj Allen wants to be traded to Hawthorn. Port's Maddie Kerrick has called time on her career. And there are tributes today for Australian Tennis Hall of Famer Neil Fraser after his death at 91. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Pineapple fans rejoice. Macca's new Hawaiian burger range is here for a limited time. So, Macca's run.
Got a couple of crashes to look out for this afternoon. A couple in Woodville, one on Port Road near Woodville Road, another one on Torrens Road near Woodville Road. I got some residual delays from earlier praying at Ovingham. This one's on Torrens Road near Churchill Road. Quite busy at the moment, South Road at Karata Park to the Anzac Highway intersection. Look out for camera of the Savo, Halifax Street in the city. Kick off the Chrissy Countdown with Rivers Mega Deals. Save up to 80% on clothing and footwear in-store and online. Hurry only while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Selected styles only. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Make a big difference to your outdoor entertaining area this summer. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
Cloud clearing this afternoon, sunny tomorrow 31, Thursday partly cloudy 37, a shower or two Friday 33. Right now it's 22 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, see the terrifying moment a toddler wanders onto a busy northern suburbs road. A worker injured in a knife point supermarket robbery gone wrong, all caught on camera. 50 Kelpies surrendered from a single property now need new homes. And how much super's required to retire. The simple ways to boost your balance. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Yes, it's 7 minutes after 4 on this much sunnier Tuesday. This is better compared to yesterday. The dark, gloomy skies are gone, and it's setting the tone for Test Match Week here in Adelaide. As I say, good afternoon to Rowey and Timmy G.
Well, it's getting closer to the Adelaide Oval Test Match this Friday. It's probably my favourite festival sporting event. I know we've got the Festival of Footy and all these other things, but I love the Test Match. So fingers crossed there's no rain. Fingers crossed we can win the toss and bat. Fingers crossed we win. Maybe not, because we're 7 from 7 with the pink ball test at Adelaide Oval. Timmy, welcome. It's like shelling peas.
No.
Stop it. Don't play that.
You know,
it's called positivity, you two.
Positivity is great, but when you go over the top with the results already done.
Are we 7 from 7?
Yeah, we're 7 from 7, but that is history. That is history. You know what?
History repeats.
36ers, great example. 10 wins at home. Not 11.
Yeah, but they had their 3 best players out.
Yeah, that's right. But things happen, don't they?
Well,
we might have a couple of good players out. Hazelwood might be out.
Well, I think he is.
He is out.
100% out.
Big crowd, Timmy, at Adelaide Oval.
Mitch Marsh might be out.
Actually,
there you go. There's a cloud over that.
Did I say welcome?
Yes.
Welcome. You're a bit snarly. What's wrong?
Well, just because you started the show with us
cool.
already with the test.
Fair cool. A big crowd at Adelaide Oval. You think I'd learn after sitting with you for this amount of time. For the Aussie v India test net session. Second test, we know it's a pink ball test. Starts 2:30 on Friday. No rain, as we said. Here's Travis Head on bouncing back.
That's the plan. A few guys probably in that boat as well. I'd like to perform better in the first innings, so everyone's looking forward to getting back. It's a beautiful place to play. It's great energy, great crowd. Hopefully that gets most of the boys up and about, and that leads into a really good performance, and no doubt that Nate's going to be one of those guys that wants to perform well.
Yeah, Hazelwood out. We reckon bowling in.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's, what would you say? It's almost the line of duty that's coming in next, and I think that Scotty...
he's the next man.
You know what knocked him around was that Ashes series, where I think everybody thought he would be hooping it around in England. It didn't happen.
Because it was the Duke ball.
And then he was dropped.
That's it.
And
lost confidence.
I reckon he lost a lot of confidence out of that. Hopefully he can get it back here in Adelaide.
He will. Marsh 50-50 to play. Look, I think he will. Bo Webster's not a bad in. I can't wait to see this bloke at this level.
He's a fairly big
rooster,
right, let me tell you.
Regardless, we need 11 of them at their best, because we know India are. Speak to Travis Head after 5 o'clock. Hey, quick text here from Kev. Is this year's cricket training session open to the public?
Kevin,
yes, it is.
Yeah, it's good news, actually, because it had been closed off last year, and we asked the question why, and I think it was a lingering leftover from COVID, when you couldn't exactly go and the like. Now, that's been reopened, and I'm really glad that it has, because even when we spoke to Brett Lee this time last year, he said, hey, what are you talking about? That's always open. That's a time when the young people, fulfill their dreams watching that. So I'm glad it's back, and that's a good decision.
Well, good segue into our next guest. Joining us live at Adelaide Oval Nets is AAP sports reporter Oliver Caffey. Hey, Ollie, it was open to the public, wasn't it?
It was, Rowey. Yeah, really good turnout there today. Probably, upwards of 300, 400 people at the net today. So, it was a great turnout, beautiful day. And, the Australian team just finished up about 20 minutes ago. And India will do their training under lights tonight with the pink ball.
Ripper. Hey, Ollie, Steve Smith apparently found his hands because he copped one right on the thumb.
He did, and it was from Marnus Labuschagne. Marnus was giving him throwdowns to the nets, and they were having a bit of banter. They were throwing it back and forward, and Marnus threw one down and copped Steve Smith on the hand. So that was a bit of a dramatic moment of the net session. But Steve Smith looked to be okay. He went back and batted for another 20 or so minutes. Did get attention from the CA physio and just made sure everything was okay. But it looks like he's fine. But it was one of those moments you're like, wow, this potentially is a big story here, because he looked very sore initially. And, hopefully he pulls up okay tomorrow. Not too much bruising or anything.
Might give him something to worry about other than his shadow batting in his room, with a bit of luck. What about Marnus? How did he hit him? Out the middle?
He looked pretty good today.
Good.
Yeah, he was in there for a long period, as he normally is. He had the two stints in the net, so he was the last one to leave. That's not surprising at all. He usually is. But, Mark Cosgrove was in the nets today. Back in the Australian team fold, he's given a lot of throwdowns to Marnus and some of the other batters. And, he looks pretty dangerous, Cosy.
In what way, Ollie? As a bowler or...?
Oh, just the throwdowns. He was given a few slippery deliveries there. It looks pretty good.
I'm curious, Ollie, how the build-up, obviously, to playing, they seem to get a day of sort of throwdowns, a little bit of bowling from local bowlers and the like. Then they move to the open session with their own bowlers coming at them and the like. It's like a gradual build-up, isn't it, to the starting day?
Yeah, it is. The bowlers didn't really do a hell of a lot today. Mitch Stark and Pat Cummins were in there for a very short period of time. Scott Boland, who played in the PM's 11 game on the weekend, he batted but didn't bowl. So, there was a lot of throwdowns from the support staff today. And, the main session will be tomorrow. That's their big one. They'll do it under lights. So they'll switch with India. India does the night session tonight, and then, Australia will take that slot tomorrow. So, expect the bowlers to do way more of a load tomorrow.
And that's all open session, is it? For the
I don't think tomorrow's open. Today definitely was.
Okay.
But, we'll see how open India's session is later. They're infamously very protective of their sessions, as we found out in Perth. So, it's technically an open session, but we'll see how we go watching it.
Now, Ollie, we need you to run out to the middle of the pitch. Hoffy will let you know. Give us a pitch report, whether it's green. If you had Tony Gregg's keys, could you put it in, easy, or are there any cracks? What's the pitch look like, Ollie?
It's looking pretty green, Rowey,
Good.
at the moment. I think we'll have the wickets on day one. So, the curator's due to speak tomorrow, so we should find out a bit more then. But, at the moment, looking very green, so plenty in it for the quicks. Normal, pink ball test.
Yeah, we're 7 from 7, and you win the toss, you bat, because the team that bats first wins, Ollie, so I don't care how green it is.
It's easy, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah. Well, I've already predicted a win, so who cares?
Yes.
Hey, Ollie!
Yep.
Well done, Ollie.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's a ripper. Ollie Caffrey there, AAP sports reporter, live from Adelaide Oval. Crossed him from time to time. Good net session. Non-compulsory. We'll speak to Travis Head after 5.
It's a different world, though, compared to when we were kids to go and watch the open sessions where they were out in Adelaide number 2 there, and you clamber behind and see the greats bowling at the great batsmen and the like. It's like I said, it's a slow build-up that they do, and the throwdowns seem to be it's a modern thing, isn't it?
A bit of fun is our cool topic today. Apparently, former Liverpool great Jurgen Klopp was spotted in Adelaide. We saw photos of him on social media. That he was of Liverpool. Fans who recognise him, not that they mobbed him. Everyone's respectful when you meet a great. You get selfies and all that sort of stuff. So if you were one of them, we'd love to hear from you. Did you meet Jurgen Klopp? 8223 0000. But more than that, we want this one. Who have you rubbed shoulders with who was a sporting star? By chance, you might have bumped into him, been at a restaurant, you might have fished with them or that sort of stuff. What's your story? We'd love to hear it. Now, can I go first with mine?
Yeah, sure.
8223 0000. Who's the sporting star you rub shoulders with?
So you sort of mentioned a few the other week.
Well, I fished with DK Lilly. Warnie I've had a dinner with in Melbourne with a number of people. Dawny was in my spa. I met Gilly down at Bustleton because I actually swam with him. Bacchus Marsh, we played golf with him. Lance Armstrong, we rode. It was me and Cornsey. Lee Matthews, had dinner with him.
This is getting ridiculous.
Had a photo with Gina Ryan.
Timmy, I'm going to wind him down. We'll check in with Rowey in a minute. Hang on. Who have you met, please? Who have you met?
I think I met KG in the lift.
You met KG in the lift, you reckon? All right. Hang on. Who else? Rowey's still going.
Merv Hughes fished with him. Mark Webber, I met him in Noosa. Brian Lara, I had a beer and a selfie with him and Jody at the Sacker.
The list is amazing.
Incredible.
Donovan Mitchell, I met in the NBA when I went over with the 36ers. Do I keep going?
I think that's enough.
8223 Timmy.
See if you can beat me.
No, but we want to hear your story because everyone's met.
Well, the thing about
I want to hear your story.
Right. I think you're right. I haven't got a story about me, But I've got one about a guy that I absolutely loved and adored. His name was Tony. He owned the Hindley Street Pasta Palace in the height of the Formula One being here in Adelaide.
So that's in the 90s?
And Tony's one of those great front of house operators where you come in, he welcomes you and greets your family and all the rest of it, makes you feel like you're in the lounge room, right? He had anybody and everybody that attended that F1 on his walls. His photos, and it's before selfies, and he would have, I reckon, the cameras all set up, ready to go. Quick, look who's here, mate. He'd have a photo with them. All of them were up on the walls. Now, I'm talking names like Ayrton Senna, Elaine Prost, Keke Rosberg, and then the all the fans of F1. So he even had a photo with George Harrison. That was the one I was most jealous of, like the Beatles. Wow. I'm like, oh, this is because he was a massive fan, George, and came to Adelaide regularly for the event. So I reckon his walk with fame or brush with fame and sporting was just probably bigger than anyone's, because you got to remember everybody came from over Australia and the world to that F1. It was amazing.
Who's the sports star you bumped into? We want to hear your story. I forgot to mention Greg Norman. I met him at Grange. And then Mike Tyson. I shook Mike Tyson's hand when he was over here that time. And George Foreman in New York with Barry Ian. I met George Foreman in New York.
Did you buy a grill?
I bought his book.
I did.
Yeah. Do I keep going or stop?
No. I reckon we'll give the listeners a go.
822
Such a show coming up. We'll get all your calls on the air. Travis Head ahead of the second test in Adelaide. We'll speak to the Saka CEO, Charlie Hodgson. We've got the Cockalachi kid, John Fitzgerald, after the passing of Neil Fraser. We'll speak about this a little later in the show as well. Will Gould, the Premiership Tiger, he's going to try his hand at NFL punting. There's a story. And Ned McHenry in the studio as well. And your calls are on 8223 0000 at 18 after 4.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The 2024 5AA Variety Radiothon this year proudly raised much-needed funds for Variety, the children's charity. A wonderful supporter of this year's Radiothon, Phil Hoffman Travel, who generously donated an 11-night Mediterranean cruise for 2 people. Thank you for your support of this year's 5AA Radiothon, raising funds for Variety, the children's charity.
Have you seen the stunning new sign at NRG Solar's relocated office in St Mary's? It's not just a sign, it's a beacon of sustainability. As leaders in solar solutions, NRG Solar's commitment to innovation shines bright. Their new warehouse is fully stocked with a stunning range of wholesale solar and battery equipment. See it for yourself, 1275 South Road St Mary's, or visit nrgsolar.com.au for a sustainable future. That's nrgsolar.com.au.
When we say police home care, a lot of people think...
Okay, Margaret, I need you to step away from the vacuum cleaner.
When in fact, Police Home Care is an approved My Aged Care and registered NDIS provider, available to all South Australians. For quality aged care or disability care in your own home, search Police Home Care, taking care to everyone.
Yeah, Doug Walters.
Stop
it. Beefy, both of them.
I'll tell you, this next one we're talking about, we're going down there Friday, actually. This is FIVEAA. Now, FIVEAA, it's a non-for-profit industry-based organisation that partners with industry to build trade careers through quality apprenticeships, employment and training.
Yeah, exactly right. FIVEAA delivers nationally accredited training packages to meet SA skilled development needs. So important.
Well, you know where we're going with it.
Yeah, we are.
It's all happening down at the Osborne there.
It is.
I've got to say, I went through and had a tour the other day of it. It's massive, and they've got to get bigger. And they need more of everything, basically, because more trainers, more apprentices, because it's really going to be huge. So at present, the team at FIVEAA is training 1,100 apprentices and 600 vet in-school students. And those numbers are only growing due to what I just said, which means they need more experienced tradespeople to jump on board to help develop the next generation.
Important. Casual, part-time, full-time roles are available now and into the future, plus full training and Cert 4 TAE support is provided by FIVEAA. Sparkies, fridges are most welcome to apply. How good is that? PEER.
Yeah, fridgies, that's refrigeration.
Yeah, that's it, fridgies.
Yeah,
What
exactly
do I call
right.
him?
Yeah, fridgies, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so if you're a qualified tradie, and this is the perfect opportunity to not only grow your skill set, but to pass on the knowledge base, and look, you get paid for it, you're beauty. So visit peer.com.au.
Kebabs on the barbie? To feed the whole family. Coles RSPCA approved chicken breast kebabs range from the deli department at just $1 each when you buy 10 or more. Available at deli counter stores only. That's great value, hands down, at Coles.
Are you ready? Mawson Lakes Mazda's 2024 plate clearance sale is on now. Discover these drive-away deals across the entire range, including free 12 months rego, free stamp duty, as well as $500 off a range of accessory options. Hurry in to find your perfect model and colour. The sooner you get to the showroom, the better your chance of scoring your dream car. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway. T's and C's apply.
Dad always used to say, you're only as good as how hard you try. So I try really hard.
But what if trying isn't enough? Like all children, 8-year-old Owen deserves his hard work to pay off. But for 1 in 6 Australian children, poverty can cause them to fall behind despite their best efforts. You can help provide access to extra learning support and give them an equal chance to make the most of their education. Please donate today. Search the Smith family.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
23 minutes after 4, some awesome unique home-style food texts coming in. One group of mates, Jaden at Ferryden Park, thank you for sending through your photo. You and your mates actually met Jurgen Klopp, which is on the back of our story and our topic today. Who is the brush of fame that you had? 8223 0000. A celebrity, a famous sports person. We'd love to hear your nominations. 23 after 4, here's your traffic.
Crash at Ovingham to look out for the drive home. Torrens Road near Churchill Road. 2 crashes in Woodville, one on Port Road near Woodville Road, the other Woodville Road near Torrens Road. And Colonel Lake Gardens, a crash, Goodwood Road near Springbank Road. Slow at the moment, South Road, Karratha Park. Busy Main North Road at Enfield with a camera, Gawler Road at Two Wells. With thousands of stores and millions of gifts to choose from, a Coles Group and Myer gift card is on everyone's Christmas wish list. Available in-store now, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
All right, your little brush with sporting fame. Stephen, stop talking. You've had more than I've ever heard in my life. South Plympton, let's go to Phil. G'day, mate.
Phil.
G'day. I do have a list, but I'll just go with one. Back in the early 80s, I saw this bloke was a bit frustrated because he'd locked himself out of his car. And so I unlocked the car for him with a bit of packing tape, and it was Rick Davey.
Wow,
the big
Phil,
jumbo.
how did you learn that packaging tape?
Wow.
That's clever.
Yeah, in the old days,
I can
there
do
was a
that
knob
too.
at the top of the door. You can do that now.
Yeah.
But,
You got to wedge the door open and come from the top around the side and you go. Yeah, Phil, I worked with Rick Davies back in the day. Hello, Marty.
Stop
G'day. G'day, boys. How are you?
Hey, Marty.
Yeah, Rod Laver.
Yeah,
Rod Laver. When did you meet Rod? And how?
I was working in Iran at the time.
Oh, wow.
And he was doing a tennis school over there.
Wow.
Did you say Iran?
Yeah.
Iran, yeah, in Tehran.
Wow.
What were you doing there, Marty?
Riding horses. I was with the jockeys that went over there in 78.
Goodness me. And Rod Laver would have been would have he finished by then? 78?
Oh, yeah.
No, he would, well and truly, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
he was
Marty.
doing a course over there and playing. And we're at the Intercontinental, I think it was. And he was staying there and we were having dinner with one of the owners.
Oh, that's a great story, Marty.
How good.
The great Rod Laver. Talking about humble stars, we had that topic
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah. He was
Thank
definitely
you,
one of them.
Marty.
Absolutely. Vida, how you going?
It's Peter. Hi.
Oh,
how
go,
are you?
Peter.
I'm well, thank you.
Who did you meet?
I met Matthew Liptak.
Where did you meet Matty? Not on the operation table, I hope. He doesn't.
I did.
What was it, a hip or a knee?
Yeah, what did you have done, Vida?
It was a knee. I was at the bar,
How good.
and the nurse was prepping me for surgery, and she was marking my knee.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, you're going to be the envy of a lot of people." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, you know, Matthew Liptak's operating on your knee."
Wow.
And I said, "Who's Matthew Liptak?"
Oh, no, Vita. He's
But
a
I
beautiful
certainly know
man.
him now.
Yeah, brush me phone.
You would have done a good job too.
Thanks, Vita. That's a great story.
Good story. that
Maddie,
one. I love
Dr.
that.
Maddie
Yeah,
Liptak.
on the table. I was only joking. Paralawi, g'day, Greg.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Good, buddy. Who'd you meet?
Well, I met Luke Robitaille from the LA Kings. He's a captain and a former Stanley Cup champion for them. While I was living in Los Angeles, I deployed overseas for Iraqi freedom, and when I got back, the Kings put on this big show and had me go and drop the puck for one of their games, and my wife and my daughters got to have dinner with Luke Robitaille.
How good is that?
Drop the puck. I love that. That's, you know, like first
Throwing
pitch
the
and
pitch,
things like that. Yeah,
Kicking
what a
the
great
goal.
concept, Greg.
Greg,
I love
thanks
it.
for that. That's an outstanding story. Well done. Hello, Michael.
Hello, boys. How are we?
Good, buddy. Who'd you get to meet?
Well, it's kind of it's not a long story, and I'll try and make it short. But a good mate of mine, he's a well-renowned journalist from WA. You guys may or may not know him. His name's Steve Butler. But
You know him? Yep.
sorry.
Yeah, I know him. He was writing back when I was in WA.
Oh,
for the
he
paper.
would have been too, Rowey. He would
Yeah,
have
he
been.
was. Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Rowey had
Stevie,
dinner with him.
he-
Timmy, I very well could have. Old butts. That old butts of ours.
Actually, Steve's now running both the trots and the thoroughbreds over in Perth. So.
Okay.
But anyway, what happened was, Steve came over and said, "We're going to the cricket," and it happened to be the test at Adelaide Oval, where where Warney dropped Flem's hat-trick catch.
Oh, yes.
Right, yes.
Okay, so what happened after that? So I'd already met Gilly a couple of times as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve, because he was pretty well known, got us both into the change rooms after we'd beaten India. And, you know, the Clownies were going everywhere. You know, we're all just having a great time. So I was sitting there talking to JL and all the other guys. But the coup de grace was, obviously, Warney dropped the catch.
Mm.
And he was sitting there and it was like a chimney, mate. It was
He did like a dart, didn't he? Yeah.
He was smoking. And anyway, I was shitting myself. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn. I was pretty nervous about the whole thing. So I had a poster of Warning. And Lang said, go on and get a sign. I said, no, I'm not doing that, because he was so down and so angry. Anyway, Lang went up, said, "This is Mick. Can you sign this poster for him?" I've still got it, boys.
How good.
Warney was so pissed off that he wrote upside down. It's still exactly as it was.
Oh, Mick, great
good
story.
get, Mick. Good get,
That is a
mate.
great get. Now, we started this topic with who met Jurgen Klopp when he was in town. He was obviously over here on the
He was
cruise.
on that cruise that we gave away. Phil Hoffman Travel.
Well, Jaden from Ferryden Park did. Jaden.
Rowey, Timmy, how are you?
Oh, we're good, mate, but you guys must be ecstatic.
We were, it's just the luck of the draw, mate. We were very lucky to meet Jurgen Saturday night. We went down to Outer Harbour and took our chances about 8:30, and we got there and security told us he was already on the boat, so we thought, we'll wait an extra 15 minutes, and 15 minutes come, and the great man come down willy-nilly by himself, and he didn't have to greet about 20 of us.
How good.
And spent about 15 minutes with us, and I asked him what he was doing here, and he just said, "I'm just a normal bloke on holiday with my wife."
Oh,
Wow. So how did you know he was on the cruise ship, Jaden?
We got wind early in the week. A bloke from Port Pirie, we know, was on the same cruise.
Right.
So they said they were docking in or leaving Saturday night, and we just went down there after dinner and thought we'd try our luck.
Well, mate, well done. We're going to give
Jade,
you a
what a
$50
coup.
Powers voucher for sharing that story,
Yeah.
mate. You'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
Cheers, Rowey. Cheers, mate.
Have a beer on the back of Jurgen Klopp. How
Yeah,
was that?
well
There's
done.
a couple more nominations here. I met Warwick Kappa. He asked me, did I want his autograph? and here's a better one. I once met Sam Tugwell.
Yeah,
I reckon I
nice.
know whose text that is.
There's a couple of good ones too, and I'll read them out a bit later, but one about playing cricket with Ian and Greg Chappell.
Oh, not bad. Your brushes with fame, 82230000. Headlines coming up, and we'll talk the Adelaide Oval Test with the Saka CEO next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Emergency crews have been called to a bad motorbike crash near Kapunda. There have been a string of shark sightings today off southern suburbs beaches. China is allowing 2 Australian beef abattoirs to resume trade, marking an official end to years of import restrictions. And in sport, Rod Laver has paid tribute to Neil Fraser following his death at 91, calling the tennis legend a true gem. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Pineapple fans rejoice! Macca's new Hawaiian burger range is here for a limited time. So, Macca's run?
Residual delays from earlier crash at Ovingham, Torrens Road near Churchill Road. A couple of crashes to look out for at Woodville, one on Port Road near Woodville Road, the other Woodville Road near Torrens Road, and a small bingle at Colonel Lake Gardens, Goodwood Road near Springbank Road. Busy right now, Anzac Highway at the Morford Road intersection with the camera Conningham Street to Glenunga. Now's the time to get into your new Mazda with plate clearance bonuses across selected 2024 models. Visit your local Mazda dealer and drive away today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic guide, 5AA.
The 5AA forecast clear tonight down to 12, sunny tomorrow and 30. Right now it's 22 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
The most interesting thing that's going to happen in the world, and it's already started happening in Argentina. Have you seen the economic figures out of Argentina since Javier Milei went to war with the size of government?
See what happened with their inflation number?
It's incredible.
Yep.
Argentina is a country that has been cursed for decades.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
By reining in public spending is now going gangbusters.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
$20,000. Want to win it? Here's how. Edwardstown Mazda's incredible 2024 plate clearance sale is heating up. Buy a new demo or used car from Edwardstown Mazda and you're in the draw to win $20,000. That's right, $20,000. Why would you go anywhere else? Your dream Mazda and $20,000?
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply. T24/1786.
City Discount Tires. Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. When you buy 3 Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain tyres, you'll get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for your next adventure. City Discount Tires are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. Visit citydiscounttires.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value. City Discount Tires.
Ah, now let's see what's in the swear jar at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens.
Boy, that's a cookie jar.
Busted. My mistake. Let's see. Here it is. Here's one from Renette, an interior designer at Buy Urban for over 20 years. Renette swears to ensure your dream bathroom becomes a wonderful reality. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts. Wouldn't mind a cookie.
When you think of single malt Scotch whisky, you might imagine Scotland's green hills, her fresh babbling brooks, and rows of oak barrels. But you can get the same feeling right here in Adelaide when you walk down the aisles at Powell's. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through Scotland's best whisky labels and the best from around the globe, all under one roof. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Powell's, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
24 minutes to 5. Looking forward to the test match on Friday here in Adelaide. We're going to speak with South Australian own Travis Head at 5 o'clock. And of course, we're taking your calls, your brushes with fame. 8223 0000.
Well, it's going to be here on Friday. We're excited. The test is going to begin. And we've got the SACA CEO on the line, Charlie Hodgson. Charlie, good to have the pink ball test back.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't be more excited. This feels like a very, very big test match. Given what happened in Perth, there's a huge amount of focus on it, and everyone's talking about it. So we're looking forward to it.
We normally have a great test anyway, but you're right, that sort of adds a little bit of spice to it that we're going to be looking forward to the outcome of that. But you've been working hard behind the scenes, I know, with the Premier and the people in Cabinet there, just trying to make sure that we get the test that we want. So is this the ideal date and time for it?
Yeah, we're actually we're at the start of a 7-year deal that we did with Cricket Australia. We're going to move from this after this year. We're going to move to the last test before Christmas every year, which will be kind of 15th, 16th, 17th of December start, something like that. That for me, that's
perfect.
The best slot on the calendar because the series is always still alive. You know you're going to be against the side that's going on to the MCG in Sydney, so it'll always be against the top side. And you'll be able to put it in your diary every year. So this year we're doing a little bit earlier, day night, but the way this series is poised, I don't think it could be any bigger, frankly.
What I just love about this test, and others can try, the cricket is always outstanding, but it's like a festival out the back. It's a party. It's a meeting place. It's an appointment time. It's tradition. I know I have a tradition. Most people do with this Australian test. Others have tried to copy. They just can't. Things that organically grow in this state are brilliant, and it's led on the back of, and a lot of things have been copied on the back of this test match, Charlie. It's unique, isn't it? It's unique in its own way.
It definitely is. I genuinely don't think there's a test match in world cricket like it. And I think this week we're looking to break a few records. The biggest crowd I think we've ever had for an India test over here is 35,000. We're going to be probably touching 45,000. We may even sell out days 1 and 2. So if people are looking to come down and haven't got a ticket yet, they probably need to move to get online quickly and hoover up the last few tickets because we may even sell out on days 1 and 2. So there's so much interest in it, both from public and members. So it's really exciting.
And look, we always love to have a South Australian in there. We haven't got one, we've got two, we've got three. We've got Kez, Travis Head and McSweeney. How good's that?
So good, isn't it? That's the first time since 1979, I think. We've had 3 South Australian players in the test side, and we've got Brendan Doggett, who's in the squad. And who knows, he might get a go at some stage during the summer.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of them and wish them well for the week.
Yeah. Charlie, since you've been in the chair, well done. I had a look at the financials. You've made the second biggest profit ever of all the states, second only behind a couple. Your assets sit at around 101 million. That's a fine set of numbers, Charlie.
It is, but it's not all about the numbers. The numbers allow us to do what we want to do to make cricket stronger, whether that's more kids playing the game, whether it's more money into the pathway, into community cricket or into high-performance cricket. It allows us to be, hopefully, over time, more competitive than the other states. That's kind of our advantage in some ways, and that's underpinned by our amazing membership, which is at 34,000 this year, and allows us to do a lot of the things that other states can't do, and certainly to host the best test of the summer, in my view.
Coming up to this test, the open sessions, we know we had one today. Will there be any opportunity for the one under lights for viewing for the public?
No, it's just today, I believe. It's that the Australian team are out earlier. The Indians are out pretty soon. And I think that was a great initiative from Cricket Australia. I haven't seen that before. There was a good few hundred for the Australian session earlier, so it'll be interesting to see how many turn up for the Indians in due course. But great fun, great opportunity to get close to the players and doing training. And there's a lot of hard training going on at the moment because there's so much hanging on the series.
Yeah, only 3 sleeps to go, mate. Sleep well. It's going to be a cracker.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
That's the CEO of the Saga, Charlie Hodgson, our guest. Big test in anticipation.
Hoover up those tickets were his words.
Yes.
Could be a sellout.
Yeah.
Friday
Good
and
advice.
Saturday.
Already. How
I'm going to
good.
be there Sunday. Can't wait with my Jimmy.
excellent.
Hello, Bernie at Kensington Gardens. Who did you meet?
G'day, fellas. Mine's not so exotic. It was my Dermy Brereton experience. So, massive Hawks fan. Met him about 10 years ago, I reckon, at a charity golf day at Glenelg, and he was just wandering around. I just couldn't miss the opportunity to meet the big guy and get a photo. So I stand next to him, had a mate of mine with the phone, taking a photo. Dermy was very pleasant, had a good chat, and I was so looking forward to seeing this photo. I didn't see it about half an hour later. My stupid mate had the camera the phone around the wrong way and took a photo of himself. So
Selfie!
Oh, no.
no.
Oh, Bernie. Did you give him a crusty?
Sorry, I should say ex-mate.
Yeah. One job. One job.
That's a bad miss. It's a bad miss.
job.
It's a bit like,
Bernie.
Perhaps missing an interview, not
Yeah.
turning the recorder on.
That was crazy.
Yeah, just maybe.
I skied once with Dermy in Mount Buller.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, my gosh. He just has to one-up
He's
everyone,
one up
doesn't he?
all of our listeners so far.
It's true.
All right. I'll tell you, this will be a good one. Try this one. Hampstead Gardens, Barry.
Yeah.
Who'd you meet?
Can I go? Sir Donald Bradman.
Woo!
That's not bad.
Sir Don was my mum's legacy.
Oh, here we go.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh, for
My mum's got private letters from Sir Don to her and her rugby.
Barry
I
have
shouldn't
his
joke
moment,
about
Rowey.
that.
No.
Yeah, sorry, Barry, but that's true.
Yeah. That was a few years ago. It was at Jarmer's restaurant, which was a upmarket restaurant on Kensington Road.
Yep.
And we were there with some suppliers of ours. Well, they were wining and dining, my boss and I. And at the other table was Sir Colin Cowdrey and his wife, and Sir Donald Bradman and his a lady friend. I think his wife had passed away by then. And during the night, I went to the toilet, and I was standing in the small toilet at the urinal, and the door opened, and in walked Sir Donald and stood beside me, and we shared an intimate moment, I guess. But I didn't have the courage or the guts to say anything to him. I just
Wow, that's respect.
And, I felt like that. I didn't feel like I needed to say anything to him. And
well done.
And he probably went back to the table and said to Sir Colin, guess who I just saw in the urinal?
Yeah,
So,
Baz from Hampstead Gardens. You can't shake hands at the urinal.
No. And I think
absolutely not.
conversation doesn't really lend itself to that environment either. So well done, Barry. Classy.
That is very, very classy. I caddied for Sir Donald, for Sir Garfield Sobers. Remember that story I told you?
You
When I was a
caddied
kid,
for him.
I caddied for Sir Garfield Sobers.
Getting sick.
Where does it end?
Actually, one of the loveliest blokes you'll ever meet. And we had Mouse text yesterday. If you want to talk about humble champions, didn't he? Did he text
Sir
you as well?
Garfield,
Sir
yeah.
Garfield Sobers.
Yeah.
And Sir Donald, the closest I've got to him is driving down his street. That's about it. Sir Donald Bradman Drive. But I never got within Cooey. You lived here for so long.
Obviously, Kensington Oval.
Yeah, never got Cooey.
Timmy, I'll straighten up. We're having a bit of fun, and don't pay me out on the text line. We're just having fun,
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I've met everyone.
Yeah.
That's how it rolls. Can we straighten up? Australian tennis great. He certainly was that. Neil Fraser, MBE, sadly passed away. 19 Grand Slam titles. He was captain of our Davis Cup team for 24 years. I think he won 4 Davis Cups as a player and 4 as a captain, non-playing captain. He was the last man to win what they call the Triple Crown. So in the US Open 2 years in a row, he won the singles, doubles and the mixed doubles.
Correct.
Imagine doing that. Just the godfather of the game in Australia. He was 91. So to his family, to his friends, his teammates, to the tennis community, condolences. Just an absolute great...
Well, I think we're going to speak to John Fitzgerald. We
will.
played in one of his winning ones, so an
That's a
absolute
great
champion bloke too. But now, one I promised you a bit earlier before the break was about, and this is from Jason. He said, look, g'day fellas, my hero was Greg Chappell, and me and my mates were playing cricket at the park in Glenelg East, and Greg arrives with Ian, and they were playing with their nephew or someone else. I asked, could we join in? And they obliged. I couldn't contain myself. I ran home and told Mum, And she said, go back and ask them around for a coffee. He said, so I ran back and I said to him, can you come home for a coffee? He said, they both laughed at me. He said, I didn't have any idea why at the time. He said, I guess Mum would have settled for Trevor.
Can I just tell you a little story about Neil Fraser?
Nice one, Jason.
Yes.
Neil Fraser's my wife's second cousin, and when she went to England when she was young, she stayed at his house. And
you're kidding?
Met Pat Cash and anyway. God bless.
I can't believe this.
Crash at Ovingham to look out for. Torrens Road near Churchill Road. 2 prangs at Woodville. One on Port Road near Woodville Road. The other Woodville Road near Torrens Road. And a smash at Colonel Light Gardens. Goodwood Road near Springbank Road. Slow for works at Salisbury North. Kings Road near Cross Keys Road. Busy Tapley's Hill Road at Glenelg North with a camera today. Fitzroy Terrace at North Adelaide. Did you know the Alert SA app now informs you about floods and severe weather as well as fires? Download the Alert SA app today, set up your watch zones and be prepared. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
5AA celebrates 12 days of Christmas with St Agnes Shopping Centre. With over 30 specialty stores and major retailers, you'll find everything you need for Christmas, all under the one roof. For more info, visit stagnesshoppingscentre.com.au.
There's Millionaires Mix, Triple Choc Heaven and Macadamia Magnifique. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm Brett Charlesworth, and they're just 3 of over 100 mouth-watering delights we make for you at Charlesworth Nuts. This year, more than ever, you need to spoil yourself and your guests with the very best and the absolute freshest. And when it comes to nuts, that means Charlesworth. I guarantee you will taste the amazing difference that 80 years of experience brings. 11 family-owned stores or shop online. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
Are you ready? Mawson Lakes Mazda's 2024 plate clearance sale is on now. Discover these drive-away deals across the entire range, including free 12 months rego, free stamp duty, as well as $500 off a range of accessory options. Hurry in to find your perfect model and colour. The sooner you get to the showroom, the better your chance of scoring your dream car. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway. T's and C's apply.
Keep your digestive system in balance anywhere. No fridge, no worries. Henry Bloom's SB Probiotic 60 has your back and your belly. Available at your local pharmacy. Safe travels. Always follow the directions for use.
Now, before you decide on anything solar, I've told you this before, make sure you sit down, do your research, you'll find out you save money on your energy bills, yeah. But I'm talking about the people who own and run the solar company that you're buying from. It's important, Rowey.
Well, it is. I know these guys.
This is it. This is where you
kick in. This is a brush with fame. Well, they are. When it comes to solar, Exceed Solar, that's Exceed Solar, they're the company. They've been climbing up and down roofs, installing solar panels, inverters and batteries for years.
Yeah, well, I actually know Corey as well.
There you go.
They've seen it all because they've done it all. And because they're qualified electricians, not salespeople, they know firsthand what gives you the best possible results.
Yeah, they do. They really do. That's the major difference between Exceed Solar and the rest. The solid knowledge based, not a hard sell.
No, they're not like that. So get in touch with Exceed Solar. You'll love them and love the experience. Exceed Solar, they're built on knowledge, not a hard sell. exceedsolar.com.au.
Much on this weekend? How about a quick trip to Amsterdam? Dig into cones of Belgian fries topped with mayo, mini Dutch pancakes and indulgent Biscoff milkshakes. Stock up on authentic Dutch products, market fresh produce and irresistible Dutch cakes made from scratch daily. Take a leisurely stroll past the windmill, admire the tulips and the Delft Blue. Visit Amsterdam this weekend at the Dutch Pantry, OG Road Clemzig, open 7 days. Just look for the big windmill.
Catch the ferry, like you're making your way down Sydney Harbour. Cast a line, like you're fishing in Cairns. Watch birds like you're somewhere out in Kakadu. Put your feet up and relax like you're in Byron. You don't need to fly across the country to see and feel magic. It's right here at home. Morgan Riverside Caravan Park. Get 7 nights for the price of 5 all summer. Visit morganriversidecaravanpark.com.au.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
10 minutes to 5.
Fraser wins 8-6, 3-6.
6-2 and 6-4. Australia regains the Davis Cup.
I don't think there's a better feeling in tennis than to win the Davis Cup and win the fifth rubber for your country, and to have your parents there watching.
Yeah, man, that absolutely loved his Davis Cup as a player and as a captain, and did an amazing job at it, as well as his own individual career. Neil Fraser sadly passed at age 91, and we're going to get a man on who played in one of his victories in the Davis Cup way back in '86. John Fitzgerald joins us. G'day, Fitzy.
Hello, Rowey. Hello, Timmy.
Hey, mate, sad passing, but what a life and what a great life lived, and the impact he had on so many.
Yeah, I think when you get into your 90s, you have to remember about the life lived, and yes, look, it's a sad day for us in our tennis fraternity. He meant a lot to a lot of us. Yeah, to me, he did, but to the whole fraternity. So, yeah, it's a sad day. Gee, what a player he was, though. I mean, we overrate a lot of people in sport and call them great, but he was truly one of the greats. He got to number one in the world as an amateur. He won Wimbledon, beating Rod Laver in the final. He beat Rod Laver in the final of the US and won it another time. And in fact, he's probably the only guy that ever, and I bet it doesn't happen again, he went to the US Open in '59 and won the singles, doubles and mixed, and he went back the next year and repeated it. So he called that the triple-double. He was a pretty special player.
Yeah. What was his magic as a man? Tell us about the Neil Fraser that you know.
Yeah, he was a simple, down-to-earth guy, loved his family, but in terms of tennis, he genuinely loved our sport. I think so many sportsmen don't get the same thrill and joy that he did from playing it, and then obviously being involved in the national team for so many years as a player and as a captain, but actually genuinely loving the sport and wanting Australians to do well, predominantly as well. And I think he took a lot of people under his wing because he wanted them to succeed. He wanted our game to flourish and not just survive, but to flourish genuinely. And for me, that's my biggest memory of him, how he genuinely lit up. His eyes lit up when he spoke about the sport, and particularly about the Australians that played it.
I'm looking at the photo of the 1986 winning Davis Cup team. You got the Max there, and Paul McNamee and Peter McNamara, yourself and Pat Cash. It's, besides Neil, it's quintessential 80s. Those hairdos, quite an era, wasn't it? And but he really did love. You heard that grab where he said that there's nothing better in tennis than winning the Davis Cup in the fifth rubber. I reckon that's probably the thrill of it. And if I'm right, you did that in '86, didn't you?
Well, in '86, I played in two winning teams under Neil. In '83, when I played singles in the final, semis and final, and then in '86 I played doubles with Pat Cash, who virtually won that tie on his own. He and Paul McNamee played the singles, but Cashy won all three of his rubbers. So he was an emerging player in 83, but in 86 he was genuinely, if he wasn't the best grass courter in the world, he was certainly there in the same breath as Edberg and Becker, and so they were great memories for us. And Neil, when he says that, he was genuine. I think, imagine like as an individual winning the biggest two tournaments in the world at the time, and Wimbledon stands out obviously, and then the US Open twice, and then suggesting that playing a team competition for Davis Cup outweighed those achievements. It's a genuine comment. It's real. It was real from him. He genuinely felt that. And then 24 years at the helm, longer than any other serving Australian as Davis Cup captain. He really did bleed the green and gold.
What was his style
of coaching?
As a coach, yeah.
Well, probably a bit. I heard Wally Masur today say he's a bit authoritarian in terms of the way he ran the Davis Cup team, but I think it was needed. But he was also one of the boys who could adapt. And I think for me what stands out is I know when I played, he had, in those 2 years that we're talking about, Steve, he had four very eclectic, different characters and people in that team. People who were friends, but they're also competitors. They were competitive animals to beat, as sportsmen are. I know to win 7 premierships, you've got to be pretty competitive. I know that, Timmy.
That's true.
But all of those guys in that team wanted to play for him, and they were so different as individuals and their characters were different. And so he had this magic of bringing people together and making them play for a common cause and getting them to believe in the cause. And, you know, that I think more than a technical coach, he wasn't very technical. He just knew how to play when he was playing and had a service motion that was to die for. You know, one of the best serves I've ever seen and one of the best serves ever in the history of our sport. And one of the best forehands of his era. His backhand we used to jibe him a bit about, but that was the only opening we had as the younger generation because he did everything else better than us. But he wasn't a technical coach, but he knew how to compete, and he knew how to talk his players into wanting to win and compete for Australia. He was a master at that.
Yeah, he's got a touch of the Jack Cales about him, I think, by the sounds of it from afar. A humble champion as well. God, he wouldn't have liked the Davis Cup, how it's morphed into what it has, Fitzy.
Well, I think I can speak for him here, and there's not much I can speak for him about, but you're right. He didn't like it at all. I mean, at the time we had 6 Davis Cup captains, living Davis Cup captains from Australia, write a letter to the ITF and say, the home and away is the blood and guts of our competition. It's been going for 118 years. Don't change that. Tweak it, but don't change that format. And they dramatically changed it, and it's not the same as it was. It hurt him. It really hurt him badly. Yeah.
Hey, Fitzy, thank you very much for your time, mate. Just to reflect on Neil Fraser's life and what a magnificent impact he had on the game and others. And, mate, it was really great talking to you. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure, gents. Look, he did transcend the sport, and it's a big loss for our community, but thanks for showing interest and talking about it.
No, it's sensational. Thank you very much. John Fitzgerald, of course, an Australian champion himself, and took over the Davis Cup and won a championship under his tutelage, but it's just honouring Neil Fraser, who took him to 2 Davis Cup titles.
Condolences to a great.
Yep, he was 91. We have Travis Head joining us after the 5 o'clock news.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
At Spotlight's Black Friday sale VIP, save 40 to 50% off Christmas ranges, 40% off fabric and yarn, and all Cans block-out curtains and blinds from $15. So you can decorate it, knit it, and hang it for less, all backed by our bargain guarantee. Sale on now. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. FIVEAA. Always Adelaide.
I love this time of year. Me too. Cherry, my favourite. What about ham? So heavy. Don't forget the Christmas pudding and custard. Christmas is about sharing and caring. It's about family coming together.
A big thank you to all our customers.
Especially the thousands of new customers that have chosen Drake's this year.
From the whole Drake's family, Merry Christmas!
Drake's, ingredients to make this Christmas special.
To celebrate Koala's Black Friday sale, I'm taking 30% of my clothes off in the office. What do you reckon, team? Lose the shirt or the pants?
No, Grant, don't.
Grant.
Don't do that.
No.
Up to 30% off everything. Like 25% off the Byron sofa bed, 20% off the Cushy sofa bed, and 15% off the Suffolk sofa. Up to 30% off everything. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Koala's Black Friday sale. Ends soon. Koala.com.
Phantom Screens are the only manufacturer that make outdoor blinds up to 12 metres long. More than enough for an outdoor entertainment kitchen, a mini golf course, a herd of mountain goats, and the 190B bus to Mitcham. Since 1995, Phantom Screens have been improving homes with top quality, powder-coated, aluminium-framed retractable screens. Whatever space you have, there's a Phantom Screen for you at phantomscreens.com.au.
Up to the minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Clear tonight, down to 12, sunny tomorrow 30. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Get a free fuel card with a new Triton, Pajero, Outlander or Eclipse from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
It's been a busy day for our shark patrols. There have been 3 sightings this afternoon, not far from shore. A 2-metre bronze whaler off Aldinga Beach, another shark off Port Wollonga Beach, and also a sighting north of the boat ramp at O'Sullivan's Beach. Well, there's an update tonight on that car found on Glenelg Beach early this morning. Police were called to Chapel Drive after reports a Hyundai Accent was bogged on the beach. Following investigations, a 38-year-old man has been reported for driving without due care and making a false report. Reported crime in SA has fallen over the past year. Latest police stats have shown nearly 1,500 fewer offences against people and property were reported in the September rolling year compared with the previous rolling year. But victims of crime advocate Michael O'Connell says it's important to remember this is only for crime that is known to police.
Well, what is critical is that the public continues to have confidence in our police and confidence that if they go to the police and report a crime and they seek help, that they're going to get the help that they're looking for.
China is allowing 2 Australian beef abattoirs to resume trade, marking an official end to years of import restrictions. The Queensland-based operators were the last 2 businesses subject to Beijing's trade bans. Restrictions on wine, barley and coal have all been lifted in recent years. The federal opposition says high power prices are a matter of credibility for the federal government. Today marks 3 years since Labor promised a $275 reduction in power bills by 2025. New data shows there's been an increase in the number of households seeking hardship support from their energy retailer. Liberal leader Peter Dutton says the government has failed to properly manage the power grid.
I think it's a question of credibility for the Prime Minister. He hasn't mentioned the figures since being elected. And as we know, it's 3 years today since the promise was made. It was made on 97 occasions, and people voted for the Prime Minister knowing that their power bills were high. They wanted them to come down.
Customers at a major bank will now be charged if they want to go into the branch to withdraw their money. From next year, the Commonwealth Bank will charge $3 for customers who want to speak with a teller while accessing their money, as well as withdrawals made through Australia Post. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
The Australian cricket team trained today in Adelaide ahead of the second test against India starting Friday. India is also having a session at the Oval. SACA CEO Charlie Hodgson has told Rowey and Timmy G there's a lot of anticipation ahead of this test.
We couldn't be more excited. This feels like a very, very big test match. Given what happened in Perth, there's a huge amount of focus on it, and everyone's talking about it, so we're looking forward to it.
Sydney has highlighted poor defence and contest work as the main factors which led to their heavy grand final loss to Brisbane. The Swans finally reviewing the 60-point loss as they begin pre-season training under new senior coach Dean Cox.
The way that we defended in our contest was really poor, which has been really consistent for most of the year, but we want to be a team that when the stakes get higher, that's what we turn to and we deliver on that, and we weren't able to do that. Brisbane were phenomenal. They played a really good brand of football and extremely well, but we let ourselves down in those areas.
Tennis legend Rod Laver has paid tribute to one of his great rivals, Neil Fraser, who's died at the age of 91. Laver says he was a true gem in a golden era of Australian tennis and pushed him to become a better player. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Pineapple fans rejoice. Macca's new Hawaiian burger range is here for a limited time. So, Macca's run.
Afternoon, still seeing a few delays with that earlier crash. Candlelight Garden delays outbound Goodwood Road near Springbank Road. Pretty slow at the moment. Glen Osmond Road as you're heading home through Glenunga, and quite busy as we speak South Road at the Anzac Highway underpass. Works at Angle Park to look out for. South Road near Green Junction Road with the camera Fitzroy Terrace at North Adelaide. The Alfa Romeo demonstrator event is on now. Enjoy exceptional savings on select models until December 31. T's and C's apply. Search Alfa Romeo demonstrator event. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Make a big difference to your outdoor entertaining area this summer. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
Clear tonight down to 12, sunny tomorrow 30, Thursday sunny 37, and a shower or two, possible storms on Friday 35. Right now it's 22 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, see the terrifying moment a toddler wanders onto a busy northern suburbs road. A worker injured in a Knife Point supermarket robbery gone wrong, all caught on camera. 50 Kelpies surrendered from a single property now need new homes. And how much super's required to retire. The simple ways to boost your balance. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Dad always used to say, you're only as good as how hard you try. So I try really hard.
But what if trying isn't enough?
Like all children, 8-year-old Owen deserves his hard work to pay off. But for 1 in 6 Australian children, poverty can cause them to fall behind despite their best efforts. You can help provide access to extra learning support and give them an equal chance to make the most of their education. Please donate today. Search the Smith family.
A potential vaccine to fight a bacteria responsible for life-threatening pneumonia in the very young and elderly has been developed in South Australia, and Fusion Clinical Research has been asked to trial this vaccine. For this important study, Fusion is seeking people aged 70 and over. If you want to take part in this important trial, go to fusiontrials.com.au or call Fusion on 08 7077 6996. You will be paid for your time.
When we say police home care, a lot of people think...
Stephen, come out and put your feet up.
And bring yourself a coffee.
When in fact, Police Home Care is an approved My Aged Care and registered NDIS provider, available to all South Australians. For quality aged care or disability care in your own home, search Police Home Care. Taking care to everyone.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
It's 7 minutes after 5 here on this Tuesday afternoon. Still a bit to come on the show. Glenelg Premiership player Will Gould, he's looking to move away from footy for another footy, plying his trade in the gridiron punting space. We'll find out more very, very shortly. Ned McHenry's going to join us in the studio ahead of the fishing show tonight. And, of course, we're taking your calls. Your brush with fame, 8223 0000.
Well, it's Test Week. We love it. Friday it starts. And thanks to Rusden Wines, home of the Black Gut Shiraz, rusdenwines.com.au, brings us our Test number 5, South Australian. We love him, Travis Head. Trav, welcome.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
How was you hitting the nets today?
Very good. Feeling good. It was nice to spend some time in the middle last week in the test in the last innings, and beautiful nets at Adelaide Oval, and feels like it is home and feels like home, and it's a nice buzz. There's a fair few people, obviously an open session today, so good buzz around things, and I found the middle of the bat, which is always nice.
Who was bowling to you?
Today it was optional, so we had we trained optional yesterday as well. So, but I just had our ball throwers, our coaches throwing, and net bowlers. So, get a range of guys from Darren Lehman Academy, grade cricket, whatnot. Guys who are keen to have a trundle, and we get endless amount of net bowlers. So nice to see it out of hand from a few of the young fellas. So always nice.
So Trev, walk us through that. How many hours in the middle of the nets do you go? Like, do you try to make it as close as it can to, you can't, to the middle wicket, but talk us through what that looks like.
In terms of how long I batted for?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, a few guys are different. We've probably we started at 1. We had a field and everything, so probably getting the nets at 1:30, and I'm leaving now. I finished at about 10 to 3. So,
wow.
So I went for an hour maybe, take bowlers and whatnot, and a few boys will go a bit longer, and that's a really long hit for me. I felt like today was a nice day. The sun's out, back screen looked good, ball was coming out of the hand nice, and the fine in the middle of the bat. So, bat for a little bit longer today to get the rhythm, and then tomorrow's the naughty one. Tomorrow's under lights against our big quicks, so tomorrow's the one that you hopefully walk out the net with all your fingers and intact. And
So you haven't had to find your hand.
Tomorrow will be a testing one, and then just a very optional, very light hit before the test starts on Friday.
Well, you were out in the middle for a bit in that Perth test. Well done, that second dig. You don't need to find your hands. You found them, Trav.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about where my hands are. You've seen me bat enough to know that it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but hopefully gets the job done more often than not. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I've batted some of the best times ever when I've got no idea where my hands are going. So crack on, watch the ball as hard as I can, react to it, and try to get it out of the middle more often than not.
Bit of Bargy floating around. Saw a bit of Sunil Gavaskar having a bit of a dip. Reckons there was a bit of What would you say, the media bullying stories up and the like? Is he just trying to put a bit of spice into this test?
I guess it's been brewing for a little bit on performance and whatnot. We've been playing well in the last few years, and there was a couple we dropped off of the test last year against West Indies that we probably shouldn't have, and got a little criticism. And New Zealand, we had Greeny playing unbelievable innings for 180 and won that test, and Kez pulled one out for us in that second test. So I guess the public probably think that we're cruising along a little bit. Didn't feel like that, obviously, as a team, because we didn't play well as a team. We had individuals standing up, and then that's what makes a great team, is a team that can find ways to win when we're not probably playing particularly well as a group. But we had a bad week. That happens in sport, doesn't it? And it happens when you play against good competition and good teams. And we get another opportunity this week, so we're under no illusion about that. And this group's been together so long. I think we problem solve really well. It's not guaranteed that we're going to come out and blitz it and dominate the week. We hope we do. India are a bloody good team, so we just got to make sure we do the things where we do well, and as a team, and we've talked about that and we've worked on that, and we're all not stupid enough to know what that is. So we crack on. But yeah, it's been a big week in the media, and it always was going to. It's a highly anticipated series with a lot on the line for people that write the articles that they do.
We've had great success here in Adelaide with the pink ball test.
Sorry about that.
It is 7 from 7, and looking at that, that's nice to have in the back of the mind that we perform well here under lights, which is great. And you and Kez, of course, being locals, no dramas whatsoever. But what about some of the other lads who might be doing this first time? You know, McSweeney, of course, and maybe the opportunity if one or two are injured that a couple of new bowlers might roll in. Just getting around them and making them feel good about what's about to happen.
Yeah, I think you're always supporting someone like Nick Sweeney, whether it be in red ball, pink ball, or whatever it may be. He's earning his career, and he's desperately keen to make an impact, to get start and crack into his test career. So we've all been in that position. We all know how that feels, and we all support him in different ways. Guys would talk technically. I talked about it in post when he got out with that grubber for second innings. I said, take the missus out for dinner, get a bowl of wine, and just celebrate your test debut and worry about Adelaide when it comes. And honestly, it's just and that's how I would approach it. And I think he's gone in really relaxed this week. Obviously, there's a fair bit of talk around that, and then you talk about the bowling, but probably most likely be Scotty Boland. I'm not 100% sure on how that's tracking, but he's been next in for a long time. So when you're talking about who's going to come in and how they're going to get the job done, there's not many more reliable blokes in Australian cricket than Scott Boland. You know what he's going to bring. So I think we're in good hands in terms of the bowling stocks.
We're speaking to Travis Head, thanks to Rusden Wines, Blackgut Shiraz. We lost the first by 295 runs. Can we find those runs?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like there's been a lot of good teams. We've seen a lot over the last few years, teams drop the first game and come back and make an impact in the series. You look at the couple of Ashes series and whatnot, where in England last year we were able to win the first two. I think we won at Lord's quite convincingly. It looked like we sort of had England on toast, and then they come back and play really, really well in the next 3 test matches. Look, the sign of a really good team is how well you can bounce back and how quickly you can put that to the back of your mind. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it cares. Yes, it means a lot to us, and we don't want to drop games like that. But at the end of the day, we can't change that now. So we've got to try to put that to the back, put that in memory bank, and move on and kind of do it about different ways. But yeah, we can definitely turn around. We've shown that numerous times. So looking forward to that challenge now.
We heard Steve Smith cop one in his thumb. How's he? He hasn't found his hands. Well, he found his hands because you got to hit the thumb.
He's punched him. I batted against the boys in the first net, and he batted beautifully. And I sat down, and he come in and was very bullish around how he was going.
Good.
And then I went in for a little bit while he sat having a drink, and then I swapped with him. So as I come in the sheds, Kez actually walked in and said, "Smudge had a whack on the hand." I don't think they're going to amputate it, but you never know with Smudge. One thing I will say is all these times where he has had a little niggle or had a hit or anything, it takes his mind off batting, and he normally has a very, very good week. So at the end of the week, just remember the conversation we've had. If he does peel off 100 or has a really good week with the bat, I'd say it's from getting hit in the thumb. He likes I reckon it just takes his mind off what it may do, and it gives him sort of something to worry about. So Might not be a bad thing.
Maybe take a hammer at night and just bang his thumb.
No,
has been talked about in the past. Has been talked about.
I'm going to tell.
It does get talked about.
I'm going to tell Mitchy Stark tomorrow in the main session with the pink ball under lights to come off the sight screen and hit him right in the goalies. That'll do it. That's 100 there.
Yeah, no, it's talked about. The boys know it as well. He knows
Okay.
it, he's not a great sleeper and whatnot. He worries too much about his batting, which is crazy for a bloke averaging 60. Dust me immortals trying to barely get asleep, worrying about how many runs we can get the next day. But he'll be right.
You know what you might need to get down his tonsils? Some Rusden black guts, Trav.
That will do the job. That will do the job. 100%.
Hey, Trav, I know we've got some selection issues, but I reckon India got their own, trying to fit three of the names that played against the Prime Minister's 11. They got the likes of Gillen to come into the lineup. It's not that easy, is it? Jadeja?
You probably think, I think Gill and Rowey walk back into the team, which is, if that's one thing you look at when you're trying to find that 300 runs that they knocked us off at, is just that they got three new guys. I think
that's it.
And it'll be interesting whether they play Ashwin or Jadeja.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised that, Washington Sunder's very good. I was with him at Hyderabad last year. He's done exceptionally well for him in the last couple of months, and looks like they've backed him in. And but then they've got 700 test wickets or 800 test wickets sitting on the pine in those two spinners. So it'd be interesting on what they go with in terms of them. But I think you'll definitely see both batters come in, which that gives us another look into guys that want to get themselves in the series, won't want to have had time in the middle. If you look at it that way, depends how you look at things. I'm not too bothered because they are two high quality players that you're talking about bringing back in as well.
Can you try and put Boomer off his game? Can you say to him, how many Tim Tams have you been eating in the off-season? God, he looked fat.
Or is he a player that responds to sledging? Because
Trav,
I'm remembering Dean Jones and Curtly Ambrose here. That's what I'm worried about.
Jasper, he's a beautiful man. He's actually really, really nice away from the game.
Good.
I've come to the stage now where I just poke fun at everyone and have a laugh. Rana was getting stuck in me a fair bit, and I was like, well, what do you want me to do, mate? I don't feel I'm very good, and you're bowling pretty good, so I'm not too fussed. And Jasper's the same. I sort of walk past him and go, Jasper, you're far too good for me. Why are you wasting your time bowling me? Bowl the other bloke. And he never gives anything to you. Never gives anything away. Wow. He's head down, absolute competitive beast.
Isn't he?
And then lovely off the field. So I don't
good.
think you can put him off his game. He just he knows what he needs to do. He's so good at it. He's got this aura about him. And even my rubbish chat can't sort of get under his skin.
Well, he's best in the world, and you did very well against him in Perth. Let's hope you do in Adelaide. Now, make sure you have a couple of Rusden Black Guts Thursday night and try and peel off whatever you peel off. I'm not going to put the mockers on because Timmy tells me to shut up with no prediction.
That's it.
So have a great test, Trav, and thanks for
play
your time.
well. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
Thank you. Having the boys up today, I think the coaches will nip into a few bottles. I got a couple from last year, so I reckon the coaches start the week off for us, and then the boys can have a couple of bottles at the end of the set. So
well done.
Much appreciated. It goes down a treat. The boys love it, so hopefully it's on a winning note.
Well done, Trav. All the best. Thanks to Rusden Wines. It is the home of the Black Gut Shreds. The Aussie cricket team love it. rusdenwines.com.au. Bring us Travis Head.
It's 19 minutes after 5. We'll get back to your calls straight after we check your traffic. Get unique pies, sausage rolls and donuts from your local independent supermarket. Unique. It's time for something better.
So we've got a few delays with the crash at Candlelight Gardens, Goodwood Road near Springbank Road. Super heavy at the moment. Fitzroy Terrace at North Adelaide. Really slow South Road at Mile End. Look out for those works at Modbury North tonight. Speeds at 40 Montague Road near Kelly Road. They always get slow about this time. Cameras Osmond Terrace, Norwood and Peacock Road in the Parklands. FPOS fees are great. For banks, not businesses, pay no fees or terminal rental with SmartPay. Visit smartpay.com.au. T's and C's and minimum turnover apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Parties, weddings, big events. What do they all have in common? Pals. You know your pals want to have a good time, but what will everyone want to drink? That's when you need to speak to Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals will make sure you've got the right type of drinks, the right amount, and best of all, we'll make sure you've got the best labels that will keep everyone talking about your event. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
$20,000. Want to win it?
Here's how. Edwardstown Mazda's incredible 2024 plate clearance sale is heating up. Buy a new demo or used car from Edwardstown Mazda and you're in the draw to win $20,000. That's right, $20,000. Why would you go anywhere else? Your dream Mazda and $20,000?
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply. T24/1786.
What's better than getting a 4th tyre free when you buy 3 Bridgestone Ecopia fuel-saving tyres for your car or SUV? Saving money on every trip. Call Bridgestone Select Tyre and Auto on 131 229 and go with confidence. Conditions apply.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now I know a great team when I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. The Shipway team are the best in the business. They've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. If you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, a South Australian team you can count on.
Don't let the sun set on your energy savings. With NRG Solar's cutting-edge batteries, your energy independence lasts long after sunset. Enjoy the freedom of solar, even when you're not home. Experience the future of energy. NRG Solar's new warehouse is fully stocked with wholesale solar and battery equipment. See it for yourself. NRG Solar, 1275 South Road, St Mary's, or call 1300 858 160 to explore a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow.
Babe, you okay?
Oh, I've got so much to do today and so little time. I've got to go to Spotlight and House and Garden.
Yeah.
Then I'm meeting Sal at the coffee club. I've got to do the selections with Beacon Lighting. Oh, and Solomon's Flooring. Picking up the basketball ring from Rebel Sport and go to Dreamland to look at the new bed.
Oh, easy. Just go to Jeps Cross Home HQ. They have all of that.
Oh, yes! Jeps Cross Home HQ, of course. You're a lifesaver. Mwah. Bye!
Oh, don't forget to stop at Pest Domain. We need dog food.
Yep, dog food, got it.
Keep your digestive system in balance anywhere. No fridge? No worries. Henry Bloom's SB Probiotic 60 has your back and your belly. Available at your local pharmacy. Safe travels. Always follow the directions for use.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
23 minutes after 5. Today we are honouring the strength, resilience and contributions of people with disabilities on International Day of People with Disability, all thanks to ADL Support Services for the NDIS. They are big enough to rely on and they are small enough to know your name as well. Great company indeed. 8223 0000 for a $50 Pals voucher. We're asking you, brush with fame.
How good's this one? I remember this name too. This is on the Unique Homestyle Food text. It's on the back of... Jurgen Klopp was in town. He's the Liverpool manager.
Yeah, a few people ran into him, which was great. And he was, by all accounts, according to Jaden at Ferryden Park, he was an absolute gentleman, gave him 15 minutes of his time. Unreal. Didn't have to.
So we want to know your story with brushing with fame with the sporting bloke. I had a beer with Fuzzy Zola in the beer tent on the 19th.
Fuzzy, legend.
He was an unbelievable golfer.
Good golf.
That's a good one.
But a good character too. That's a good one.
Not met him.
No, I like this one. This is a classic. I was competing in a roller speed racing event in London. Guest of honour was Roger Bannister. Now, he's the man who broke the 4-minute mile, first man to do it. After the first race, I finished second. At the presentation, he told me, I lost money on you. He said, I told him to double up with the next one and the one after that. I went home with the trophies, and he had heavy pockets. Good on you, Johnny.
That is a ripper. And here's one from a young lady. I met Will Gould after the 2024 Grand Final. Have we got Will Gould on tonight?
Yeah.
Because he's going to be an NFL gridiron punter.
How
good's that?
He's attempting that, so that's great. Let's go to the phones. Plimpton. G'day, Bill. Who'd you meet,
G'day,
buddy?
boys. How are you? Robert Di Costello and Peter Brock.
Oh, how good.
Separately or the same time, Bill?
No, differently. And I'll tell you a little story about Peter Brock. I was driving a cab back in those days, and that was the Formula One days.
Yeah.
And he sat in the back of the cab, and my brother was a Holden freak and a Peter Brock fan. And I said to Peter, is there any chance you can give me your autograph, Peter? So I found a piece of paper. He goes, sure, he signed it. And then when he gave it back to me, he had a little note written, I rode in your brother's taxi and lived to tell the story.
Oh, superb.
Good message.
Have you still got it, Billy?
I don't know if my brother still got it. I reckon he would have it somewhere, but that was back in the Formula One days, back then.
Yeah.
And, he sat in the back of the cab, and they said, yeah, sure, I'll sign it. And he wrote that little note, and, I gave it to my brother.
How good. Mid-80s to 95.
Well, it was 85 to 95.
There you
85,
go,
95.
10 years.
Well
Bill,
done, Bill,
thank you.
Beautiful. Let's get to Paul, Morfett Vale. Who'd you meet, Paul?
Paul.
Hey, Paul, you there?
Yeah, there, mate. How are you?
Good, buddy. Good. Who did you come across
Rub
in
shoulders
life?
with.
Yeah, or rub shoulders with?
Well, I was at the Youth World Cup Championships when they were played probably 20 years ago in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And I was standing there relieving myself. At one moment, I'm standing there, and I turned around, and who's standing right next to me was Pele.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. So we've had Don Bradman
Don
in
Bradman
the
at the
urinal.
urinal.
Now we've
Now
got
Pele.
Pele.
Pele was really nice, actually.
Yeah?
I sat down at the table. He didn't drink, but we sat and watched the game for a while, and he didn't say a lot. But, yeah, he was a nice guy.
Fantastic. The great Pele. He's the Sir Don Bradman of soccer, is he not?
I think so.
Well, he's up there.
I'd put him.
Maradona, him.
I'd put him on
Ronaldo.
the pedestal.
He's on the pedestal. Oh, what a great story, Paul. Well
That's
done.
excellent.
You'd wish back in the day you had phones.
Oh, well,
like
that's
you do
right. He
now.
wouldn't have had a phone.
You got a photo. No
And-
phones.
Oh, pity I didn't bring my Instamatic camera.
Or
my
no, but you never
Polaroid.
did. But that's where it's changed. We all had autograph books.
Correct.
Now you
That's-
can get a. It's
That's what you used
changed.
to carry, wasn't it? The autograph
Now
book.
there's no autograph books.
Unreal. Let's go to Fairview Park. G'day, Joy.
Hello. How you going?
Excellent. And who have you come across at some stage?
Well, back in 1962, when the British Empire and Commonwealth Games was on in Perth,
Uh-huh.
I marched in that with our school, and then we were watching a swimming competition. There was lots of people in the stand. I don't think you had to have tickets in those days for some reason, or we didn't anyway. And I was sitting next to this guy. I didn't even look at him, actually, and my cousin whispered to me, "Do you know who you're sitting next to?" I said, "Who?" She said, "Murray Rose."
Oh, goodness
And it was
me.
Murray Rose, and he won 4 gold medals, and all the races he went in, he won gold that year.
Goodness me,
He
Joy.
was
You
like-
were the lucky charm, Joy.
Joy, he was like the big, he was probably like your big pin-up boy of that
Wasn't
era,
he?
wasn't
Oh,
he?
absolutely. But the thing is, I was only 15. I didn't take any notice of guys.
Goodness me, Joy.
Classic.
That's
Well
a
played.
beautiful story. Thank you.
Great story.
Hello, Andrew at Merino.
Yes, hi, it's yes.
Sorry?
Andrew.
Hello.
Yeah, we got you, buddy. All clear. 5AA.
Oh.
You're talking to Timmy and Rowey.
Yeah, how are you, Owen, Timmy?
Good.
Yeah, that's us.
Good. Hey, I in the late 1980s, I was sitting in a bar in Houston, Texas, and I got chatting to this big black dude that was sitting next to me in this bar, and I was talking to him for probably a good half an hour and everything like that. And then he up and left, and all these young white dudes came over and said to me, "Oh, do you know who you're talking to?" And I said, "No." And he said, "That's the refrigerator." And which
William
is
Perry.
William Perry.
Correct.
William Perry. He was probably about the most famous gridiron player at the time.
Yeah.
And
He was.
yeah, we had a good little conversation, but he knew I had absolutely no idea who he was.
That's a terrific story. And they're the best chance meets, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're just two cobbers sitting at the bar chewing the fat.
I think what happened was he was a defensive...
How did you know that was the refrigerator?
Well, he was a defensive player, and what they did was I think they swapped him to offense. And the fact, because he was so big, that he just took off, and the
No one could
momentum,
grab
they
him.
couldn't,
Yeah.
they couldn't slow him down. They couldn't
Goodness
hold him, so
me.
he just keep going and drag them all with him. You know, he was massive.
Hall of Famer.
The fridge, they
Wow.
called him.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Great story.
Hello, Rick at Westlakes.
Yeah, g'day. How you going?
Good,
Rick.
Yeah, some years ago, Greg Norman ran a golf competition called the Challenge, and I somehow got into it. And the finals were at up in Queensland.
Right.
And the night before the golf started, there was a barbecue, and not only was there Greg there, but there was Viv Richards.
Oh, no.
And, chatted with him for quite a while.
Jesus. Sir Vivian Isaac, Alexander Richards, Rick.
Yeah.
Was he a good rooster, Viv?
Yeah, great to chat.
Yeah, good.
And Rick, you must have been a fair player.
Average. They had 4 grades, A, B, C and D.
What were you in?
I don't have to tell you.
Oh, you big naga, you, Rick. Oh, that's a ripper.
Oh, what? That's excellent, Rick. Well played. Good
That
story.
might be where Live Golf come from.
Might have started that way.
Back there. So this is on the back of the
Yes.
great Jurgen Klopp. Was in Adelaide.
Was in town. He was on that big cruise
People
that we
met
gave
him.
away a trip to with
That's
Phil
it.
Hoffman.
Silver Sea. And Stacey was
Silver
out there.
Seas, yeah.
So who's the star sporting person you met or brushed
little
shoulders
brush,
with?
that little brush.
How's this one? Playing high school footy with Timmy G and Ando.
Oh, really?
There it is. It's on the text.
With or against?
With.
With. Looks like it's with.
Ange from Winfield.
Ange. Oh, there you go.
Phil at Henley. I'm so old I met Moses. No, that's not even funny.
Have you met Moses Rowey? You've met everyone else. 29 to 6.
Jeez.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. It's been a busy day for our shark patrols. There have been 3 sightings this afternoon, not far from shore. An SMS sender ID register will be introduced in a bid to protect Australians from text message scams. Years of Chinese trade restrictions on Australian exports are officially over, with 2 abattoirs now allowed to resume shipments. And in sport, Cricket Australia has confirmed Todd Greenberg will replace Nick Hockley as Chief Executive. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Pineapple fans rejoice. Macca's new Hawaiian burger range is here for a limited time. So, Macca's run.
At Hackney, car into a bus on Hackney Road near the entry to the Botanic Gardens. Lots of debris on the road there. Pretty heavy delays too. More delays at the crash at Regency Park, Regency Road near Nowena Road. Slow South Road at Anzac Highway, just at the underpass there. With cameras to Savo, Church Road, Campbelltown and Clareville Road at Campbelltown as well. Play for $830 million in the USA Mega Lotto and get more zeros in your life. The world's biggest lotteries are at the Lottery Office. Play now at lotteryoffice.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, clear tonight down to 12, sunny tomorrow 30. Right now it's 22 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
For the 2025 Gather Round, the AFL has frozen the price of tickets.
Credit where it's due. When you consider the demand for Gather Round tickets, like every single one of those games is going to be a sellout. Often any entity that's involved in the selling of stuff will be looking at slips going, geez, we can really make hay while the sun shines.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
It's important that it remains accessible because it's meant to have that community festival feel.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. If you're thinking about selling your home and it's in our price range, we'll buy it. Forget spending thousands getting your home ready for sale. We'll offer you market value right now. And the settlement can be up to 12 months if you like, which gives you loads of flexibility. That's how easy it is. To get in touch with us today, visit home.com.au and remember HAUME.com.au. At Home, we buy homes.
Hi, I'm Steve Wormald from Walco Liners and Covers out at Paraka. We're a manufacturing business. Well, I think, someone my size in business, you probably think not to advertise or don't advertise, which is about the worst thing you can do. If you're starting up or if you need more work, you've got to get out there and advertise some way. Radio, it's a very personal, intimate conversation you can have. If you throw it over to the AA creative team to structure ad, you'll get suggestions when to run it, how to run it, and it's surprisingly affordable. It's not what you think it probably is.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link for more information.
Come on, Grace.
I can't. My bunyips hurt.
Your bunyips?
Yeah, I can't walk as fast as you. My bunyips hurt.
I think you mean bunions. Haven't you been to Gilmore's like I told you?
No, not yet.
Well, I was so happy with the American SAS shoes I bought, I went back and bought another pair. Now I'm walking without worrying about my bunions.
How about we go now? I'm sick of my bunyips.
Good idea. I could do with some slippers too.
Gilmore's Comfort Shoes, South Road, Melrose Park.
A potential vaccine to fight a bacteria responsible for life-threatening pneumonia in the very young and elderly
globally has been developed in South Australia, and Fusion Clinical Research has been asked to trial this vaccine. For this important study, Fusion is seeking people aged 70 and over. If you want to take part in this important trial, go to fusiontrials.com.au or call Fusion on 08 7077 6996. You will be paid for your time.
What's on your wish list this Christmas? For people like Tanya, their wishes are more desperate.
I wish I could pay the rent and have some money for food.
Help people like Tanya by donating to the Vinnie's Christmas Appeal. vinnies.org.au.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
It's 25 minutes to 6. Ned McHenry's coming up shortly. So is Will Gould, the former premiership player for the Glenelg Footy Club. And, of course, your calls, 8223 0000. In this next 15 minutes, we'll give away another $50 Pals voucher. Let's read a couple of unique homestyle food texts here. One from Wayne says, I used to play football with Guy Sebastian. So there's a little brush with fame. And
actually, on that,
yes,
Guy Sebastian played in Slowdown once.
Good.
And he was pretty good.
Yeah,
he can play the game.
So our own South Australian Guy Sebastian. This one, Louis at Ascot Park, says a friend of mine, it's not even himself, a friend of mine, went to Woodville High with Tim Ginniver.
I think we've set the bar a bit higher than that, just saying.
So what's this on the back of?
Well, it's on the back of Jurgen Klopp being in town.
In Adelaide.
And actually a few people having selfies with him. But Jaden at Ferryden Park, about 20 of him and his mates went up to Outer Harbour and waited for him, and he came down.
He came down off
his
the boat.
own volition.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
What a fantastic
That's
bloke.
a brush with fame.
They said he was fantastic. But like Jack at Athelston said, I played a charity cricket game against Steve Waugh. Bowled to him, faced him when batting, and later that night had beers and pizza. I've never been so starstruck. Jack, I reckon I played in one of those. It was a St Clair promotion.
It was too.
Yeah, because they were moving St Clair from where it originally was to do the new development there at St Clair, and they were putting in this other oval. And to do it, they had, I think, a couple of
stars. Steve Waugh was one.
Yeah, but also it was like a charity game. But I think you could enter to get a role and play, and that's obviously what Jack got, and he did both of them. Steve,
we did an outside broadcast there that day.
Correct.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Oh, it was excellent. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Riverton. G'day, Shane.
Yeah, met Steve.
G'day, fellas. How you going?
Hello, Shane.
How'd you meet, mate?
Hey, look, now, Rowey, you're doing all this name dropping, so I'm going to jump in.
Done.
A couple of weeks ago, I told a story about Bomber Clifford and myself.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so this one, fast forward 10 years, I've just got married. I've had a car accident that's left me blind, right?
Oh, no.
No, that's all good. I'm good. That's all that's wrong. Anyway, long time ago. And so we're at the Sheridan in Brisbane on our honeymoon, myself and my ex-wife now. Anyhow, and she says to me, I think that's David Hooks over there. And I'm going, you serious? She said, yeah. I said, oh, come on. You're going to have to ask her if he'll let me have a chat. She's going, no. Anyway, eventually talked her into it. And he let me sit down with him and his lovely partner. And I had 2 Mai Tais I had. I can't remember what he was. Oh, this is on the beer. And we had a really good chat. But one thing he did do is, on my wedding day, 2 days before, Torrens had played Glenelg, and they flogged us by close to 100 points. And the first thing he said was, Judy Barrett for us. And Glenelg goes, oh, we bloody flogged you the other day, didn't we? I said, geez, mate, give it up. Anyway, that's my claim to fame.
That is a brilliant story, Shane. Hooksy, one of the...
He was a mad West Torrens man.
Most charismatic. He would give anybody the time of the day. Certainly if he was having a beer at a pub, he would.
You know,
I loved
when
him.
the Eagles were flying, and this is when they merged with Woodville, he used to pop down to the Lighthouse and have a beer with Greg and say, how confident you're feeling, Greg?
Oh, that is great.
They used to have a little bet between each other.
Hey, Val.
G'day. Guys, I want to tell you about the first time I met Luke Longley.
No, please.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, I'd gone over to Perth because my daughter was playing basketball over there at the time, and there was another game going on this particular day, and was Luke playing in a district side with his dad, and Andrew Vlahoff and his dad, father and son, so both playing in the same district side. Anyway, my daughter and Luke became good friends. They used to go surfing and everything together, and that particular day he said, oh, would you like to come back to the back and see my home because his parents had converted an old warehouse along the docks in Fremantle into a beautiful home, and he was very anxious to show it off. And so Carolyn and I went back there, and anyway, the phone rang while we were there. And would you believe it was the Chicago Bulls phoning Luke to tell him that he'd been drafted?
Oh, wow.
Jeez. And oh, boy. So that was the beginning for Luke, and I've met him many times through the years, and he's a lovely bloke.
Did they
really
crack the
wonderful
champagne, Val, right there on the spot?
I can't remember. Do you know that?
Yeah.
All I know is
well,
he was
obviously
just
they
so-
did then.
Yeah. Val, did he win 3 or 4 championships with the Bulls?
Oh, look, I think he won 4 anyway.
Okay.
The sad thing that happened was that in that very house where he had all of his
Memorabilia,
trophies and memorabilia, there was a fire, and he lost all of it in later
goodness
years,
me,
which
Val.
was a shame. But anyway, as you know, he's still around the place and still enjoying himself, and he's a wonderful gentleman.
He
I can
is.
tell you that.
He lives down at Dunsborough, way down south of
They
WA.
did an Australian story on him.
They did.
Recently. I watched it. It was
So how many?
fantastic.
3 or 4?
He won 3.
How good. Played with the greatest, probably the greatest team ever.
Yeah, but again, a humble champion.
He was a humble champion. That's a great... Val, thank you.
Excellent, mate. Let's go to Woodville Gardens. G'day, Mary.
Hello, how are you?
Excellent. And who have you met?
Godfrey Evans and Keith Miller.
Oh, now you're name dropping now, Mary. Keith Miller.
Nugget.
I was living down at Mount Gambier with my husband, and we're at this ball, and I happened to be matron of the ball. That's the only reason they asked me to dance, but I had to dance with both of them.
Wow. Who was the better dancer?
Godfrey. But he was a bit of a boy. He had 2 dances with me.
Oh, yeah, well, Mary, he was a lad, wasn't he, Keith Miller? He had a reputation.
I read his book. It's entertaining.
So that was good.
Well done, Mary.
Mary,
Great story.
thank you. Keith Miller. Who did he date in the British? He was a ladies'
How do I
man,
put
wasn't he?
this? Well, yes, but put it this way: he
She was a
he
princess.
definitely met Princess Margaret.
Okay.
So
well, they had a fling. Come on.
There's a great story.
Yeah.
On his last tour, Ashes tour to England, the bus pulls up.
This is the Queen's sister.
The bus pulls up with all the cricketers on it, the Aussie cricketers, and they're invited to the palace, and they have a meeting with the royal family.
Yep.
And they all got off the bus, and they're all sort of heading this way. And one of the players saw Keith Miller walking a different direction. And they said, "Hey, Nugget, where are you going? It's this way." And he turned around on him and said, "There's more than one entrance to this place, mate." That is in the book. That is in the book. So I'm not talking out of school
Keith
there.
Miller. We're not going to get sued. He was a ladies' man. Hello, Marty. Who'd you meet? Top that. Keith Miller.
G'day, lads. How you going?
Good,
Marty.
Good. Now, Timmy, you'll probably remember how this story starts, but I was lucky enough to get invited to the Toll Golf Day back in the day at Royal Adelaide.
Oh, yes.
And I was a bit excited. I was playing with the major sponsors group, and, the Gowans boys were playing with us. But Timmy G was also the compere, right? So he was going to be there afterwards. And we were sitting at the table having a lemonade, and Tim decides he doesn't really want to do the auction. And my partner at the time pipes up and says, "Well, that's all right, because Marty's an auctioneer." So from that day on, I got invited back from every year, and was lucky enough to meet not only the Gowans brothers, but Skull and Sam Newman and Greg Ritchie, and the list just seemed to go on, and it was just a right place at the right time. And
and you're a very good auctioneer, Marty. You're a very good auctioneer, but Marty, weren't they good days? They raised a lot of funds for Little Heroes Foundation.
That was all Little Heroes Foundation.
And it was always at Royal Adelaide.
How good.
And had all of those guests that Marty's talking about. And
Marty's a legendary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, buddy.
Hello, Jimmy boy. Who'd you meet?
Well, it's a bit of a story around my son's 21st, so he's 29 now, and leading up to his 21st, I thought I'd do like a celebrity roast type theme, and so his coach at Pembroke in the year 12 was Jim Darrington.
Oh,
and so he told a beautiful story about my boy, and then we're Central supporters, and I used to take my lad out to Central's a fair bit, and Jimmy and Chris Gowan became very sort of close to him, and they still to this day. We just saw him a few weeks ago at a Central's function, the Hall of Fame thing, and they went up to him and did all that, and the story they told, which I worded them up on, was that as a 7-year-old, Central had won 2000 and 2001 flags. Then we lost a Sturt in 2002. And as we were walking out of the ground, my lad said, "Dad, if they don't win next year, I'm off them."
Wow.
Which was a bold statement. Anyway, I told Chris and James, and they did their piece on that, which was absolutely fantastic and got a good laugh. But the last one was Michael Long. I was up in Darwin. It's like I was putting this whole thing together, and I had my tablet with me, and I was in a restaurant, and Michael Long was there, and I left them to it. But as I walked out, he walked out at the same time, and I said, Michael, I'm doing this thing for my son. Would you mind saying a few words? And I showed him some of the other clips, so he knew that I wasn't mucking around. And he goes, no worries. And so Michael stands next to me, and he says, Jason, he said, your dad and I, we go back a long way. He was a hell of a footballer. Your dad, surprised he didn't make AFL, and then he went on to tell the whole story about how they got us in '93 and beat their nemesis Carlton and all that sort of thing. And it was just a lovely little trilogy of celebrity people saying nice things about my son.
That's beautiful.
Well
Jim.
put together, Jim. Well done. Absolutely.
Michael Long, legend.
What a player.
Humble
champion.
Yeah.
I remember when he came down to play for West Torrens from Darwin.
87?
Roundabout. And I remember turning to the wing and seeing, because this was the 80s. Now, the shorts were short shorts. Skin tight, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
This lad had the biggest, baggiest shorts you've ever seen, with the skinniest
shorts.
little legs coming out. And I used to think, that is so not in sync with what everybody else is doing. Yeah. But Michael was his own man and mate. When he grabbed the ball and sidestepped me and about two others and went through and kicked a goal, I'm like, I can see why. Right. He needs the room. He needs the room.
He does what he likes.
What a
13 minutes to 6. We have Will Gould to join us straight after this, and we'll keep taking a call shortly. 8223 0000. Let's check your traffic.
At Hackney, got a car into a bus on Hackney Road near the entry to the Botanic Gardens. Lots of debris on the road there. Regency Park, a crash. Regency Road near Norweena Road. We're slow for works at Wingfield, the Salisbury Harbour to the Wingfield ramp. And quite busy at the moment, South Road at Anzac Highway. Got Carra's Osmond Terrace, Norwood, and Skinnerwood Terrace at Kent Town. Paradise awaits at Phuket with Flight Centre's Travel Tuesday sale. Book from $599 for two, including 4 free nights today only at flightcentre.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
SA cricketing legend Wayne Phillips joins Rowey and Timmy each week on the 5AA Sports Show. Catch Flipper with his spin on the summer of cricket, thanks to Budget Car and Truck Rental for utes, vans, trucks, trailers, buses and more. Call 13 27 27.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
If fresh seafood is always a feature of your Christmas feasts, make sure you check out The Fish Factory. They're taking orders now so you can avoid the last-minute rush. The Fish Factory actually process their fish direct from the fishing boats. You can't get fresher fish unless you eat it on the boat. There's crayfish, South Australian West Coast oysters and king prawns, snapper, barramundi, mulloway and Atlantic salmon and more. The Fish Factory. Call 8341 1538. 8341 1538.
Neddy McHenry just walked in. He's on
Good
after
timing.
6 and his fishing show because it's thanks to TJM Equipped. And if you want to get there, you want to be
TJM Equipped. Safe to say, South Australians love being TJM Equipped. They get out, see our beautiful state of ours. They can go right over to the West Coast, get over to the Yorks, you name it, get down to the southeast. It's just marvellous.
Yep, it is. For about 12 years, they've been, servicing South Australians. And if you want safety and comfort, they're always the priority. So whether you want a bull bar, suspensions, snorkels, camping gear, roof racks, driving lights, they have it all.
Yeah, if you want to get off-road with confidence, make sure your four-wheel drive is TJM equipped. You can visit them at Nailsworth and Ranella, and they're the major sponsor of tonight's fishing show, 6:30 with Ned McHenry.
If home is where your heart is, and if home is where you want to be, then home is where you can stay. My Care Solution supports you to live independently at home as you get older. You'll have a small, local care team ready to assist you based on your own individual needs. So if home is where you want to be, then home is where you can stay. Contact us to learn about our new client offer, available for a limited time. Search My Care Solution today.
Signs you may have big D envy. You've been invited to a mate's house to watch the footy, but you decline. Another mate's having a birthday bash. You make up an excuse not to attend. And finally, you feel like your partner is comparing what you have to what your mates have. Avoid Big D envy. Get in touch with Big Difference Home Improvements. From outdoor blinds to stunning verandas, pergolas, timber decking and carports, Big Difference Home Improvements will change your life. BigDifference.com.au.
Gift yourself or someone special with Nespresso's Black Friday sale. Enjoy 15% off when you spend $50 or more store-wide. Hurry ends midnight while stocks last. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
8 minutes to 6, Ned McHenry coming up shortly. And 36ers fans, it's time for you to get involved. Call in now, 8223 We have a double pass to give away to Sunday night's action at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. 4 o'clock, we take on the red-hot Bryce Cotton, who's just come off 59 points, and the Perth Wildcats. Be part of the action, all in for NBL 25. Get your tickets now at Ticketek, 8223
Yeah, good story this one, especially if it comes off. Dual Glenelg Sample Premiership defender. His name is Will Gould. He is training to be a NFL punter, and why not? God, can he roost a cod? Will, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, boys. Thanks for having me.
Has this been a lifelong dream?
I'm not sure about lifelong, but I was certainly on the radar since year 11, year 12 at school.
Okay.
Had a mate at PAC, Oscar Chapman, and he's over there in America at the moment punting. So, interest come from that.
Okay. How do you get accepted into Pro Kick Australia? You got to apply, or someone says, "Oh, gee, this Will Gould can roost a cod."
They run trials all around Australia in the, major cities. So, you just sign up for that and have a kick. And, you're good enough at kicking, obviously, they invite you over.
Yeah, so Will, the next step, you obviously try out here and have a kick and they go, well, we reckon you're good enough. You come over to Melbourne. What happens in Melbourne and for how long?
Yeah, so pre-Christmas I've been here for 3 weeks now. I've got another 2 weeks in me just learning, basically all it is just learning how to kick, getting rid of all my old habits from footy and how you drop it normally when you're kicking an AFL ball. And then, 12 months next year.
So what is some of those subtle differences that you have to, with the ball drop and the like, and where you have to hit it?
Yeah, most of it's just ball drop. Rather than just dropping it low, it's a little bit higher, and the angle of the ball is a little bit different. There's a lot that goes into it as I'm learning. It's no walk in the park, unfortunately. We'll get the hang of it.
Absolutely. Now, you're not doing this just because you've got a 3-game suspension, are you?
Yeah, I think it's down to 2. I think. So,
that's good.
Good on you. So have you got your eye on a college over there, Will? Has anyone sought you out, or you got to get through this Pro Kick Australia?
Yeah, so as part of the program, I guess, if you get through and learn and obviously good enough, they help to place you at a college over there. And there's a heap of guys in college at the moment. Joe Maguire, one of them, at Ohio State, and they're all doing pretty well. So, yeah, get through the program, learn all the skills I need to, and then for the Bay, look after that at the end.
Okay, what's going to be your best kick? The one that hangs the highest, or a Tory, or a drop punt? I mean, it's starting to get full of ex-AFL or Australian-type players, Will. Who's mentoring you?
In terms of mentors, not really sure. The coaches here at the moment have all been great.
Good.
So just, learning off them. But there's a few ex-AFL guys in the program, and I think Billy Gowers, he's heading over soon. So hopefully he goes well, and we go from there.
Okay.
I think Dustin Fletcher's lad plays over there. Is
Eddie Maguire's?
Yeah, Eddie Maguire's lad as well. He's in it. So, I suppose there's a pathway now building for Australians, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. It's something we do naturally, obviously, growing up, just kicking the ball left, right and centre, whereas I think some of the Americans probably like throwing it and receiving it a little bit more. So it's handy for guys who can kick a ball to... So you have to change a few things technique-wise, but, pick it up pretty quickly.
Now, I can't remember what Aussie it was, but he went for the punt and it ended up coming straight back at him, and he dropped him in a tackle. Because not a lot of punters do that, but I suppose in our game we're used to tackling.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully your punts don't get returned all the way to you. I was not very good at it. But, I've seen a few of those. I think it was... one of the Fletcher boys who cleaned someone up the other day, so that's always good fun watching that.
Yeah.
Well, Will, all the best, mate. Thanks for sharing. We'll keep in touch.
Too easy. Thanks for having me.
Good lad. Jules
Good luck, mate.
Sample
Good luck.
Premiership player. He beautiful, beautiful kick, trying to get through the Pro Kick Australia, and it's a bit of a pathway for that now.
Mm. Oh, yeah, mate.
You get on a roster, say it's the 49ers, you automatically get about 1.2 million.
Yeah, it's across Lotto.
You only touch the ball maybe 3 times a game.
Make sure you kick it well.
Kick it well. Will Gould, our
working
guest.
on it.
Hello, Julian. Who have you
G'day,
met?
fellas. Hello, guys. Without giving too much away, I've been lucky throughout my life with my job to meet a lot of famous sports people. But the story I want to tell is in 2016, I went over to the US on a whim, and I went and watched the NBA playoffs, the finals in San Francisco, and I was waiting outside the hotel where the Cleveland Cavaliers were, and I wanted to see LeBron James. And as there was a massive crowd, and I was just standing there, I was on my own, and this big burly security guard stepped backwards and stepped on my foot, and he turned around to me and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and in this big, American accent. I said, "Oh, no problem." And he said, "Oh, are you an Aussie?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Look, I've just flown over yesterday. I come to watch the game." And anyway, he said, "Wow, that's a massive effort." And I said, "Well, I love my sport and I love LeBron." He said, "Well, do you like Shaquille O'Neal?" And I said, "Of course." I said, "I've idolised him." Yeah. He said, "Well, I'll tell you what." He said, "He's actually waiting in the lobby of the hotel. Once the crowd leaves, if you wish," he said, "I'll introduce you to him because he would love to hear your story." And I thought he was taking the what?
P155, yep.
The P155, Rowey. And sure enough, the team buses left, and he motioned to me, and I actually met Shaquille O'Neal and shook his hand, and
how good.
And also Charles Barkley was there as well. To make the story better, and I won't hold you too long, both Shaquille and Charles Barkley had their own limos, and they said, "Actually, you know what, we'll ride together." And I got to ride in Charles Barkley's limo to the game.
Oh, Julian, this is outstanding.
Very, very quickly, while I was over in the US, I nipped over to Vegas 3 days later, and you wouldn't believe it. I opened the elevator the day I rocked up, going up to my room, and who should be in the elevator? O.J. Simpson.
Julian. We've got a rooster that's just outpointed me today.
He's done
what?
You.
He's done three.
He's done
O.J. Simpson, Julian.
Wow.
Did you ask him, did he do it?
No.
I was so shocked. He had 2 guys standing either side, and I just was in shock. I had to travel up 20 floors in the lift with him. I was too nervous to say anything.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. He might have shot you.
Julian. Great story, mate.
That is
great
unreal.
Story. Love that.
Hello, Russ.
Hello, boys. How are you?
Top
Excellent. Tell us all about yours.
Okay, mine's back in the Grand Prix day.
Good days.
It was just after Ian Senna passed away, and they renamed that to Ian Senna Chicane.
That's right.
And I was fortunate enough to get a copy of the whole track. and I was up in the corporate box above, and I got the signatures of quite a lot, but the ones that most really hit me was Nicky Lauder.
Yeah.
He was there. Glenn Dix.
Yeah, legend with
and
the
also
flag.
George Harrison, the Beatles.
There you
Because
go.
he was a mad Formula One.
He was.
Yep, he was. And also, too, I had the signatures of all the pilots that did the Hornets fly over.
Oh, wow.
Plus, there was quite a few of the others as well, but I've got that all framed now. And up
Russ,
inside
brilliant.
Great memories, Russ. Great memories. They were good days.
I just Googled O.J. Simpson. He died this year.
Oh, there you go. Passed away.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, he would have gone down, not up. He would have gone to hell.
Yeah, well, we're not sure about that. But, our friend Mouse, he messaged,
Mouse in the house?
He messaged us and said, look, he said, I want to get on and brag.
Oh, how many? He would actually beat me.
But he said he would absolutely thrash you.
He'd thrash me.
But he said, for a little fella at Brompton to meet all the people I've met in my life, and I said, look, I totally agree with that. And I actually saw it in real life when we were in a hotel just having a drink, went to walk out. It was Dougie Hawkins said, is that Nick Farr-Jones? Before me and Dougie could blink, he was over there. Bang, like a rat, not a mouse. Got hold of him, came back and said, I got his number, he's doing a gig for me next week.
Oh, he's the best.
Best I've ever seen.
No, he is the best.
I've ever seen.
Ned McHenry's coming up.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Clear tonight, down to 12, sunny tomorrow and 30. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Get a free fuel card with a new Triton, Pajero, Outlander or Eclipse from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Another motorcyclist has died on our roads. Emergency services were called to Greenock Road, south of Kapunda this afternoon, after reports a motorbike had left the road and crashed. The rider, a 71-year-old Lyndock man, died at the scene. There have been more shark sightings today south of the city. A 2-metre bronze whaler was spotted around 100 metres offshore from Aldinga Beach, heading south at lunchtime. Another shark was reported around 100 metres offshore at Port Wollonga Beach, heading south. The third was 50 metres offshore, north of the boat ramp at O'Sullivan's Beach. Anyone heading to the beach this week, as the weather heats up, is asked to remain vigilant in the water. Well, some Commonwealth Bank customers will soon be charged a fee to withdraw their own money as cash. People currently using a Complete Access account will be moved to a Smart Access one from January. They'll then have to pay $3 if they withdraw cash from a bank branch, post office or by phone. Assistant Treasurer Stephen Jones says it's outrageous.
This is a kick in the guts for ordinary Australians and the worst Christmas present imaginable. Commonwealth Bank has to rethink this terrible decision. This seems to me to be a tax on Australians who demand the right to use their cash.
An SMS sender ID register will be introduced in a bid to protect Australians from text message scams. Businesses will be required to sign up to the federal government register. Labor believes it'll make it harder for scammers to impersonate banks, government agencies and other organisations. Years of Chinese trade restrictions on Australian exports are officially over, with 2 abattoirs now allowed to resume shipments. More from Zach De Silva.
China has now lifted all trade restrictions on Australian goods. 2 beef exporters in Queensland have been the final businesses to get the all clear. It ends years of trade dramas, which started when Australia called for an inquiry into the origins of COVID-19 and Beijing imposed massive tariffs in response. In recent years, restrictions on wine, timber and barley exports have all been lifted. The federal government says that has created thousands of new Australian jobs. Beef producers are also welcoming Beijing's latest decision, saying it'll have flow-on benefits across the sector.
The lead up to Christmas is traditionally a busy time for the RSPCA in SA, but this year is going to be extra busy. 50 kelpies were recently surrendered from a single property, ranging from 5-week-old puppies to 5-year-old adults. Their arrival coinciding with the launch of the RSPCA's National Guardian Angel Christmas Appeal. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Australian wicketkeeper Alex Carey insists the playing group is remaining calm heading into the second test against India in Adelaide. Jordan Tunbridge reports.
A 295-run loss to India in Perth drew a big reaction from the Australian cricket community, but wicketkeeper Alex Carey says the squad isn't panicking just yet.
We're calm internally. We're excited to get back out and play a better style of cricket.
With attention turning to the second test at the Adelaide Oval, Australia can take confidence in their unbeaten record from 7 day-night tests at the venue.
We've had that success to, call upon. The method does work.
As for dealing with fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah, who terrorised the batters in their last encounter, Carey says they'll be better prepared come Friday.
Our batters are world class as well, and we've had a look at him now, so hopefully we can combat that.
And in the AFLW, Port have made 2 list changes. Alex Ballard and Joe Miller won't be offered contracts in 2025. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Pineapple fans rejoice. Macca's new Hawaiian burger range is here for a limited time. So, Macca's run.
At Hackney, Carradale Bus, Hackney Road near the entry to the Botanic Gardens. Lots of debris on the road through there. Crash at Lonsdale with delays, Dyson Road near Aldenhoven Road. And we're super heavy on the drive out through Glen Osmond Road at Cloonunga. Keep it in mind if you're heading that way. Busy as well, South Road of the Anzac Highway, underpass with the camera Osmond Terrace at Norwood. Telling yourself just one drink when you know it won't be is forgivable. Getting in the car and driving is not. Get a DD home and go out responsibly this silly season. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Make a big difference to your outdoor entertaining area this summer. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
Down to 12 tonight, sunny tomorrow and 30. Thursday, sunny 37. And a shower or 2 with possible storms on Friday, 35. Right now, it's 22 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Brenton Raglas. Tonight, a toddler captured on dashcam wandering onto busy Salisbury Highway is home safe with her parents. A worker has been injured in a supermarket robbery gone wrong at South Plympton. And the AFL has put a price freeze on gather-round tickets on sale next Tuesday. Don't worry, you haven't missed the news. Start over on 9 now as soon as you're home.
5AA celebrates 12 days of Christmas with Sydney Street. For 35 years, this iconic SA fashion store has helped mums and daughters find their timeless style with over 60 quality brands. Merry Christmas from 5AA.
Welcome aboard the Kia EV5. Today's electric drive range is approximately 555 kilometres. Speed and navigation are displayed on the driver's windscreen. Refreshments are available from the chilled storage tray in the back seat. For now, sit back and enjoy the Kia EV5. Find out more at kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Ever ordered a hot chook and they just hand it to you? No bag? Course not, that'd be weird. It's the same at All Equipment Hire, without the chook. Whatever you hire from us, everything you need is included in the price. No add-ons. We've got it all too, from earth moving to full demolition equipment, concrete saws, jackhammers, elevated work platforms to trailer hire, scaffolding and a lot more. All Equipment Hire, open 7 days. allequipmenthire.com.au.
This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding with Tales from the Bedroom. You know, they don't make things the way they used to. That's what Audrey says. She's been here for years and she's seen a lot of other bed makers come and go. But Supercraft is still making beds the way they used to. Locally made hardwood frames and bed heads and quality, comfortable mattresses. They're built to stand the test of time. Supercraft Bedding, building better beds. 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
When we say police home care, a lot of people think...
Ma'am, you have the right to remain independent. Anything you say can and will be used to make your life more comfortable.
When in fact, Police Home Care is an approved My Aged Care and registered NDIS provider, available to all South Australians. For quality aged care or disability care in your own home, search Police Home Care, taking care to everyone.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
10 minutes after 6, it's Tuesday night, which means we're not too far away from the 5AA Fishing Show with Ned McHenry. That starts at 6:30, but he always makes his way in a little earlier for us.
Yeah, thanks to TJM. Neddy, welcome.
G'day, boys.
Now,
G'day,
we've
Neddy.
had a theme of the show, superstars or super sporting people that we might have brushed into. Jurgen Klopp was in Adelaide. So who have you bumped into?
Rowey's just finished his list.
Oh, yeah.
Took him 2 hours.
Yeah. What was your list? Who have you met?
Don't ask.
No, don't
Okay,
say it
sorry.
again, please.
We're running out of time.
That's Pandora's box, mate.
Yeah, Dawn Fraser.
Just kept
Dawn
going.
Fraser.
Just kept
I
going.
love
How
it.
did you meet Dawn?
Oh, it's
I had a spar with Dawn. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So who's yours?
We were in America for the AIS camp when I was 18, and we were lining up for a coffee, and we turned around and we saw these athletic-looking dudes, and we thought, wow, they're pretty impressive. And it was Kyrie Irving, and it was Jason Tatum, and a few of those guys when they were playing at the Boston Celtics, Timmy.
Jeez,
So that was pretty
good.
cool. I reckon that's my biggest feat.
Can you tell us about Boston? Good place to go to?
It was
visit?
it was a cool place, Timmy. Yeah, we went over there and did some training.
Cold.
Yeah, cold.
Be.
Yeah.
Did you go to the Red Sox?
No, we didn't. No, we were training over there, and the Celtics were coming through for their training. And a few of those guys were lining up for a latte, and there was a bit of security and stuff around, so they're clearly protected.
Yeah.
But these guys, Timmy, these players, they're
giants.
How big are they?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Do you think NBA players, the best NBA player could play in the AFL?
No.
What pick would you guys give for LeBron James?
You mean when he was young?
Well, that's a hypothetical. I don't deal in hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Oh, you live in hypotheticals. That's the world that you live in all day.
You know, the thing about it is a guy came over, he wrote a book on all the different codes of football around the world, and he said the thing about Australian rules that he couldn't get over was the fear because of the 360 nature of it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the games, that it comes at you.
Yeah.
And he said, and you can see what's going to happen or anticipate. He said, in Australian rules, there's so many times when you don't.
Yeah.
And he said, and that's the scariest thing about
it's a
Aussie
great
rules.
point.
Yeah.
We've got
He
such an
probably
interesting
could.
sport.
If he grew up, he probably could.
So,
yeah.
Well, how many basketballers
Was
have been
talent.
good AFL players? I
Well,
mean,
that's right.
Pendlebury comes to mind.
The transition.
The
Dean
Australian ones.
Brogan comes to mind.
There's one S. Pendlebury that goes all right, too.
Pendlebury.
Yeah.
Gee.
So tell me, if you guys were list managers, you were Port Adelaide's list manager, Timmy, what pick would you give for free access to any NBA player currently playing? What pick? Would you give pick one?
No.
Nah.
You wouldn't?
No.
I'd give a Cat B rookie list.
Who's the NBA player
But that's what it's for.
You have to.
Well, that's the thing.
It's a Cat B
'Cause
rookie
it's high
list.
risk.
He's never played the game.
It's
High risk.
But is it about getting a tall player? Is it about getting athletic, strong player?
Sammy, you could get anyone. You could get some 7-foot athletic freak to play in the ruck for you. You're telling me you
But you
wouldn't
see
give a
Mason
pick for that?
Cox probably plays basketball really well and the like. It's taken a long time for him to master this game, hasn't it?
But he didn't play NBA, Timmy. Imagine these guys that are
but I'm saying,
coordinated.
It's a good question. I'd probably give a draft pick, maybe a third or fourth rounder for Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick, are you a third or fourth rounder for someone who is that elite at their sport?
He's the best quarterback probably to ever play. What do you mean?
That is the dumbest thing you have ever said.
You're wanting me
in
to
our
give a
30 minute
first
slot.
rounder to at least this bloke plays football.
I would give, if I could get any player out of the NBA, I would give a first rounder to. 100% you would. These are the most athletic, amazing athletes in the world, and you're giving them an opportunity to come over and learn our sport. You get someone who's 7 foot, mate, in the ruck.
I'm glad you're not replacing Justin Reed.
I actually think it's...
You reckon?
It's too big a risk when you haven't grown up with it. And I've seen a lot of players who haven't grown up, they come in late, and I'm talking maybe they don't start till 16, 17, and when they come into the game, the reading of the ball and taking your mark right here, you think is easy, and you think it's not. You've grown up with it. I've grown up with it. It's not. They misjudge it. They don't know where it's going, and then they go back and sometimes frightened of what might hit them. It is a completely different game.
It's close to the dumbest thing you've mentioned on this
I
sports
disagree.
segment in the year.
Well, all right, well, let's agree
You
to
give
disagree.
a first rounder to the best NBA player.
If the AFL said to me, Ned, for pick 15, you can choose anyone out of the NBA to bring them across to your AFL club I would do it. 100% I would. One, obviously, for the upside of that player. And two, what about the commercial upside?
Oh, yeah.
How many Guernseys are we selling?
Yeah.
What
So
about
you're
the
thinking about the
cashies.
until they see him play.
Listen to these two
I would
cashy
do that
people.
in a heartbeat. You guys are not...
Okay,
You're not
nah,
yeah,
nah,
Stephen,
we're
all
not
right.
lateral like you.
Agree or disagree?
Tex is your assistant at
he is.
PAC.
I had-
How did you get him? Who approached who?
I tell you what, I had my morning coffee this morning. I almost fell over when I saw it on the front page of the Advertiser. There mustn't be much going on in South Australia at the moment.
0.0.
I walked out to the kitchen this morning and I saw her hand go up, the wife. And she said,
You thought you were in trouble.
Yep, she looked at me, she said, "It's all right, Timmy. World peace has occurred.
Yeah.
World peace has happened. There's no problems anymore." And I go, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Look at the front page." And I'm like, "Oh, babe, yeah, I get you. I
can see her
it's
saying
hilarious.
It was staggering, wasn't it?
I fell over this morning. I thought, if that is the most current, important story that Adelaide needs to read on the Advertiser, we are in a good space, aren't we?
We're in a good
We
space.
are ticking along.
This is Adelaide.
No, but answer the question. Who approached who? How'd you get him? Because I think that's a real coup for the club.
Massive get, isn't
And
it?
certainly for you, he's going to be a great foot. So what's
He's
his
going
role?
to be amazing. So Tex is a really good friend of mine, and we spoke through what I'm doing at PAC, and he said, "Mate, if you want a hand, let me know." I said, "Of course I'd love a hand for you. What could you do?" And he said, "Well, mate, why don't we get serious about it? I could do one night a week training, and I could come to every game day that I'm available to." And I just,
can't knock that
make
back.
it happen. Make it happen. So we had to open up the checkbook, Timmy, at PAC. We've got no bank left to pay anyone, but Tex Walker is here. He's coaching with us. It's going to be brilliant.
His boys can just go to PAC.
Well,
Pro
yeah,
runner.
maybe a couple of school fees. No, there's nothing to do with that. It's all above board. We're paying him as normal, but I tell you what, he's demanding old Tex Walker. He gets the free cars, he gets free everything. He doesn't do anything for free.
Well, great for the club. You just bagged him. No, but that's a great.
Bagged him at all. He's a good coach.
You said he doesn't do anything for nothing. He's probably doing it for nothing. But
he is.
a great coup for the club.
It is.
You know, attraction to have. Well, you're an AFL player. He's an AFL player. To have that sort of tutelage, I think it's fantastic.
It's amazing. I'm only having a laugh. He is the most... when Tex gets his mind on something or wants to help someone, he's the best person in the world at that. He just heard that I was doing it. He wanted to lend a hand. And for us as a program and PAC as a footy club and all the guys that are playing, we're all going to reap the benefits of it. Great man.
Will you be able to attract any recruits because of it?
I hope so. People might get excited. If there's a young forward out there or a young player and they see Tex Walker might coach them, surely that's... Sammy?
Well, Wojo's just texting on the Unique Homestyle Food, says, Nettie, why don't you try LeBron? Get him to PAC to play for you since you're recruiting NBA players.
Yeah, I've got everyone else.
Hello, Frank. Who have you met? Frankie boy?
Yes. Hi, gentlemen. How are you all?
Good, Frank.
That's good. I had a brush with fame with Michael Schumacher.
Oh, wow. Whereabouts?
What had happened, it was I was a supervisor of the gate staff in the Adelaide Grand Prix 91 or 92.
Okay.
And I was a supervisor of gate staff at the pit pavilions, which is that area above the pit garages.
That's right, yeah.
And it was the end of the race on the Sunday, so I climbed up onto the roof of the media centre, as it was then, so just have a look around. And up walks a racing car driver who I didn't know, because it was in his first or second year. And he had a couple of girls around him. He was signing autographs for them. And he came to me and he offered to sign my jacket. And I politely refused. And everyone ribs me to this very day about it.
Oh, you've had a Graham Corns moment.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And everyone keeps saying, "You bloody idiot, Frank." You know?
7-time world champion. Yeah.
And you know what? And they're right. I am an idiot.
Oh, come on, Frank.
Only 30-odd years ago, Frank. Forgive yourself.
Good story. Everyone's a millionaire in hindsight.
That's right.
Who'd ever known he'd win 7?
Good point. Good point.
And then ski down a hill and hit a pine tree.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly.
Let's go to Port Wakefield. G'day, John.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. Who did you meet, buddy?
I've got 3.
Ooh, greedy. Go for it.
Sir James Hardy.
Oh, yes.
Great man.
Good man.
I sailed on his yacht in the Sydney Army.
Oh, here we go.
I did.
Keep going, Johnny.
Don't worry about him, John. 2 more.
And his brother David.
Yes.
I haven't met him.
They were both absolute thorough, down-to-earth gentlemen.
Oh,
they are.
And the third one,
yes,
I met him in Darwin at a friend's house. They just said, "Oh, yeah, Merv's on his way round. He's bringing water for the boat trip." and it was a great big giant of a man, Merv Hughes.
Merv Hughes. Would be. Loves his fishing.
He's been a guest on the fishing show, Timmy.
Oh, well,
We've
really?
had Merv on.
No,
we
you're
have.
Unreal, you are.
Great man, Merv.
There you go, see? He's everywhere.
Well done, Merv the Swerve. Well done, Johnny. Hello, Robert.
Hello there. How you going?
Who have you met?
Yeah. Am I on air?
You are, sir.
Robert, you're on air. This is 5AA.
I used to have a self-serve ice cream van, and the amount of people that I met, like Alexander Downer when he was Prime Minister, and very few others. I remember when the Crows won the premiership, they went down to the Gold Cup at Murray Bridge, and who should come up to my ice cream van but Sean Wren, and I served him an ice cream, and I said, no, don't worry about it, and he put his hand through the window and put his hand on my shoulder. That's how tall he was. Then I go across to Kangaroo Island, and who should be setting up the 5AA band over there but Graham Corns and his daughter. But the biggest thrill of my life is at the Grand Prix when Tina Turner come out and sang. It was a really hot day and she retired early, but her bodyguard come across and bought an ice cream from me. I didn't charge her for it, and took it back for her. That was the greatest.
Oh, there you go.
Well done, Robert.
Yeah, well done.
Wonder what ice cream would Rennie have? What would he?
Oh, just vanilla, I reckon.
You reckon he'd go vanilla?
Yeah, just vanilla, a little bit of chocolate topping.
What would you have? You'd have 3 scoops. You'd have 3 different ones.
Yeah, I'm a 3 scoops kind of guy. That's why I've got a fatty liver. Keep the calls coming in. This bloke met Izzy Folau. Another rooster met King Charles. We're going to do a topic today on sports people with the biggest ears.
Yeah.
Just on the, weren't we, Timmy?
No, we were never going to.
You're saying that was discussed in the content meeting, was it?
Well, it didn't get off the cutting room floor.
No. I wonder whose idea that was.
Now, before we talk fishing after the break, you wanted to have a bit of a talk about the broadcasting deal, or
well, I wanted to
want to ask some questions.
I want to pick all of your brains about that. Have we got footy to watch on free to air this year? What is happening?
Yes.
Because is it my understanding that on a Saturday I'm going to sit in front of my telly and I'm going to have to either pay for a KO subscription or a Fox Footy deal to watch it?
No, so since the fixture came out, unless you're if you're a Crows and Port fan, it's not so bad.
Right.
So when the fixture came out a few weeks back, we finally got some clarity on it. It's Fox Footy's exclusive Super Saturdays.
Yep.
They will have all games exclusive to Fox on a Saturday, nothing on 7, unless you're a Crows or Port supporter.
Right.
They will, on delay, play Crows and Port games on Saturdays.
On delay?
Who's
going to watch that? Tell me something. Who is going to watch that on delay?
People who can't afford to pay for football.
Well, that's rubbish. You should be right to watch. You should have the right to watch those games on free to air. That's rubbish.
It was always the deal. When we came in, that's the Crows, and when Port came in, you will always have free to air your team when they play away.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused by all that. That doesn't sound right.
And then it got diluted to one time a year, it didn't, then 2, then 3, then 4.
Promises you can't keep forever.
Because we sold the farm.
Andrew talk about meeting people, and he's proof of it. Has sent a photo in
What's this?
Of the 95 Grand Prix.
Oh, wow.
That is George Harrison.
There he is.
Oh, wow.
Have a look at that.
That's not bad, is it?
So what did George Harrison do?
Well, he was.
What?
He's in this little band called the Beatles.
No, I know he was in the Beatles, but what was he?
He was the lead guitarist.
What do you mean?
He was the lead guitarist.
He was the lead guitarist.
Oh, I thought.
And wrote unbelievable songs like,
he could write as well.
Oh, Here Comes the Sun, and
Did he?
And, mate, he was a super talent.
Because I thought it was only that Lennon and the other rooster, the left-hander.
He wrote a lot of the left-hander.
They all did.
The old lefty went right.
I think
you are an idiot.
Sam, end this now.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
See movies how they should be seen. Hear movies how they should be heard. All on the big screen with Quake Sound at Wallace. And now you can see them for less and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies. Simply become a My Wallace member today. It's free, it's easy, and it's full of benefits. Go to wallace.com.au and click on Join My Wallace today. Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Nollunga and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment.
We tried to make this ad less boring, but it's still boring. Because at C&N Concrete Soaring, boring holes is a big part of what we do. C&N Concrete Soaring, scan, cut, core and break concrete for pipes, cables, anything 24/7. We reckon boring is pretty interesting. If you're interested, talk to C&N Concrete Soaring. Go to cnn.com.au. We're really fun people when we're not boring.
Cheers to your new local Liquorland, with 9 new stores now open in Adelaide. Get rewarded for spending more with our new Buy More, Save More offer. Spend $300 in store and scan your flybys to unlock $30 off your next in-store shop. Visit your new local Liquorland store today. Cheers, Liquorland. Offer only available to persons 18 plus. Offer valid until 31st of January 2025. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
Every child deserves a flying start. That's why the Government of South Australia is rolling out preschool for 3-year-olds to improve outcomes for young children. There's never been a better time to explore a career in early childhood, with a growing number of roles, financial support while you study, and flexible career pathways. Play your part in their flying start. Visit earlychildhood.sa.gov.au/flying start. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
To celebrate Koala's Black Friday sale, I'm taking 30% of the day off. Righto, that'll do. See you tomorrow. Hey, we've got an all-staff meeting at 3 p.m. Yeah, you do, not me. Up to 30% off everything, including Australia's most awarded mattress range, Australia's #1 rated sofa bed range, and our brand new iconic outdoor furniture range. Up to 30% off everything. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Koala's Black Friday sale. Ends soon. Koala.com.
An Australian study will be launched to test a new Novavax vaccine to join the ongoing battle against COVID and flu. The Adelaide investigation, led by Fusion Clinical Research, will involve people aged 65 and older, and Fusion is seeking volunteers to take part. The participants will need to be already vaccinated against COVID. You will be paid for your time. Interested? Go to fusiontrials.com.au or call 7077 6996.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
It's 27 minutes after 6. The 5AA Fishing Show with Ned McHenry is only minutes away.
Thanks to TJM Equip. We love Ithlo and all the team. What are we going to get our teeth into after the break?
Well, we've got a very dodgy, sketchy guest joining us, Timmy.
What? Really?
And he sits over there. The man who got his cockles.
Again.
Cockle season's
Of
open.
course,
I went
of
on
course.
Sunday.
Yes, we spoke about it Monday.
I didn't post because I don't have social media because I
No,
don't
you
believe in
don't.
it. But I took a video, sent it to my fishing cobbers. Nettie was one of them. And he was quite impressed with my catch.
Very impressed.
good.
So
he's
stay
coming on the
after
show.
6:30 and I'll tell you where they are, how to get them, how to count them, and you make sure you measure. You've got to measure and count everything
Sammy,
down. Well,
Just
Correct.
get that
No,
dump
that's very
button.
true.
Get
I'm
that
prepared.
dump
No, it's
button
very true.
so ready. Just have it hovering under your
well, I'll
fingertip.
tell you
please.
what's the other thing. We'll do this again after 6:30.
Yes.
When you're within 100 metres of people in the water, it's 25 kilometres an hour. When there's a stretch of beach where there's no one, you can do 40.
Okay.
So please, everyone, do that because there's police down there. I call them wallopers. And they've got the guns. They were down there and they were brilliant because if anyone was a bit fast, slow down. He just put his hand
What
out.
does the gun have to do with it? What gun?
The gun, the speedo gun,
Oh,
the
I thought you
radar.
meant they've
the
got
radar.
their guns.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought you meant they
that's-
had their hand on the holster
Oh,
and they were going to
clarify
pop off
that,
on
yeah.
blokes, shoot a
Yeah.
few tyres if you're going too
no,
quickly.
No,
Just
they
a tranquiliser.
they just tase you. You know, you're sitting there like a dead fish on the ground. No, but please obey the rules because there's kids that run in and out of the dunes, in and out of the water.
Yep.
25 kilometres an hour.
So you are lecturing people on what to do in terms of
Safety.
regulations and safety.
Well,
and
I
what
might have
police.
had to do that because I was doing about 60 and the walloper did say, Rowey, pump the brakes, mate.
You knew he learned.
Then I was halfway through filling my boots up with cockles and I had all the little ones on the ground. He said, Rowey, are you going to put them back in the water? Of
course you are.
Well, I wasn't going to.
Oh,
but
that's Rowey. Timmy, just not true. That is not true.
You're better than that.
I've fished with you. You are by the book. You do this, but you are by the book, aren't you?
No, I'm by the book.
You are by the book.
Yes,
My
you
book.
Yes, you are. 29 after 6, we'll get more stories next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
The most interesting thing that's going to happen in the world, and it's already started happening in Argentina. Have you seen the economic figures out of Argentina since Javier Milei went to war with the size of government?
See what